And the Chinamen, they did it as well.
Pre-Chinaman.
Canadians, Americans, what's wrong with China?
Are we up right now, guys?
We are.
Painkillers are the biggest thing. No, you're not. I see you hitting live.
No. YouTube comes up.
Oh, YouTube goes up first.
For many, if you have a loved one who is an addict, they can help you approach
That would be crazy, though. Have you ever tried it? You must have. No?
I'm not that.
You're hard enough to get
I
a
wouldn't even
shotgun
bother.
sometimes.
My God, I can't shoot a bow to save my life, but I can shoot guns pretty well, target-wise, not hunting. Target-wise, I'm pretty good. But when something's stared at me, I can't very well shoot.
Less of it's staring at you.
And the flipping you off.
You got a bear staring you down, you might learn.
Yeah, that's right. Starts flipping you off. And
It's hard to shoot something that's staring at you with a face.
Thank you.
Did you eat lobster?
I eat meat. I eat all that. I'm not saying I don't.
Don't like the face.
No, but I mean lobster. Generally, the eyeballs are looking right at you.
I love lobster. Except
I love lobster.
But lately, I've been losing my taste for a lot of stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just things don't taste good. I mean, I just like normal, like. I haven't had an appetite for red meat. I used to love steak. I used to love it, and I don't love it so much anymore. I just don't know.
You need Mark cooking it for you.
Oh, God.
No, he's good.
Oh, I kill it. Well, yeah.
Just
sure.
not
He
the
cooked
dog's
one piece
face.
of meat for me. I ain't never gonna
If you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being
Hey,
alive.
Tom Martino, right here, right now, live on, of course, our radio stations and live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. And the longest-running radio show with a continual host. The continuous host. Hey, you know, we have Car Day today. We don't ever have a single topic show, but if it ever comes close, it's today. Car Day. Kevin Calkin, Sheridan Auto Tech, Jeff Vick, Kimmer Transmission. We always feature different people from the referral list at different times. I think Rolly Purifoy might drop in. Of course, he has an open invite. He gets in more than not lately, so we hope he drops in. But we're going to talk about new cars, used cars, maintenance, repair, buying, selling, depreciation. I have an article at Troubleshooter.com about depreciation. It's a good topic, depreciation. And if you had to pick one word, just one word, why do some cars depreciate more than others? What would that one word be? The article is at Troubleshooter.com. Why do some cars depreciate faster than others? What's the one word that would contribute to that? The main factor. It can be summed up in one word.
Perception.
Oh, that's it! Did you read this article?
I did not read that article.
That is exactly the word, perception. You don't even look smart. It's perception. I mean, that's why it was even more surprising. Perception. Okay, now, it drives buying decisions. Why do buyers go after a particular group of cars, such as Japanese, for example? What's the perception there? Quality.
Well, I think, yeah, quality. You go back to the early 80s when the American car manufacturer was really not putting out a good product. The Japanese were able to jump up in the forefront, create a better car, and the American public followed that, and I think that string has just held on since then.
Now, the public is very interested in Japanese cars because of it's considered a value. It's considered reasonable repair and maintenance costs. German cars are perceived as expensive, but
They are, though.
luxurious. And, yeah, perceptions are sometimes accurate. American cars were considered not that great of a quality, which nowadays is just not true. You guys work on them. You can tell me the truth if it is or not. And not necessarily great value. Now, listen to this one. Cars that do not depreciate much are terrible used car values. If you're going out to buy a used car, don't go for the Toyotas and Acuras and the ones that don't depreciate a lot, because you're paying too much for the used machine. Whereas, if you went out to buy a Chevy, which, you know, any Chevy, let's take, do they have the Impala? Is there still an Impala?
Yeah.
Or a nice a Malibu, let's say, just a nice sedan, you will get a much more car and much better value in the used market buying one of those, even though it depreciated faster. It stops after about 3 to 4 years. They equalize, and there's a better value buying the faster depreciating cars. That's logical, right? Because it took such a hit.
If you're holding it.
If you're going to keep it, you mean?
Yeah, if you're going to hold it for a year or maybe longer. I mean, if you're going to resell it, I'd say you'd want to get the one that depreciates slower at that point.
Well, no, because after 3 to 4 years, then they equalize. What I mean is they depreciate slower for the first 3 or 4 years. After that,
they
equalize as far as depreciation rates. But if you're going to buy a new car, the ones that depreciate the slowest will give you the best leases and the best purchases, because you have a better car to sell at the end. But nothing will help you if you overpay. That's a big deal. If you overpay, nothing will help you. And there is another sin in buying a car. Overpayment's just one of them. But the main problem, which snowballs, is trading on negative equity. It will always catch up to you. There's just no way to put this. It's best to hold on to that car and pay it off. Now, if it's not running, you got a really big problem. If you overpaid plus it's not running. But trading it is not the answer. It will only snowball into your next deal.
On the last 6 Hyundais I bought, 0 money down, very low interest rates, in some cases 0 or 0.9.
Now listen to this. He bought, for those listening, with 0 down.
0 down.
And how long did you finance?
Usually 5 years, but I trade them in within 2 years. Remember, interest rates next to nothing.
And when you trade them in, even though you financed 5 years with no money down, what is that trade-in net? More than you owe?
No, that's what I'm saying. I always got cash back after.
That's what I mean. It's more than you owe.
Yeah, more than I owe, correct.
It's always worth more than you owe.
Last 5 times. That's right.
Wow. So you get a low payment, plus you get to trade them.
Yeah, you got it.
That's a great system if you can do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Having a 5-year loan, having a car outpace a 5-year loan.
Yeah, but I'm selling them at $36,000.
But I know, Mark, but still, that is an amazing thing because you're not paying down that much. I'm saying you have a 5-year loan and you're selling them in 2 to 3 years. It's an amazing thing that you are able to keep ahead of the curve.
Every time.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Another way to buy a car, one of the best ways, if you want a car and you absolutely love it and you know you will keep it, this is the big deal, you know you will keep it, buy the very best car if you know you could keep it, right? The very best car you can buy. Do a 5-year lease. That will get the payments down really low because you're leasing 5 years. Now listen carefully. Not only do you do a 5-year lease, but do very little mileage. Very little. So if you do a 12,000 mile a year lease for 5 years, your payments will be extremely low. So buy a really nice car. Then, this is the secret, take care of it, and at the end of that lease, buy it from yourself, so penalties you don't care about. You're going to buy it. And when you buy it, you then have it for another 3 years. So you have managed to keep a car for 8 years, and you bought the used car from yourself. Here is the only downside. Very few people can keep a car 8 years. However, there are some that will, if it's a beautiful car. So I'm saying don't buy a cheap car. Buy a Mercedes SUV or a Beamer, X60, whatever they're called. Or buy a big Chevy Suburban or something that you know you will love and keep. And then do it that way.
You've owned a few exotics over the years.
Yes, I have.
Do they, when you sell them, do you lose your ass?
No, never.
So they kind of hold their value unlike a normal car.
Yes, but you got to put a decent amount down or pay. It's best if you pay cash for them. Really, and that the wannabes who buy these cars, and again, I'm not talking about present life, but in my past life, if I wanted to buy a car like that, I paid cash, and then you always get what you have in it, always. I mean, you don't really take a hit because the cars, the newer ones to replace, will cost way more, so they're willing to pay almost what you paid for that car new. It might be a few grand, but if you consider you're using it free, or using it for very little per mile. But here's the problem with exotic cars, the biggest problem. If they have a major body change, oh, do you take a hit. See, Ferraris don't have a lot of body changes, and that's good. If a body change is coming down, and the wannabes don't care, but guys who want to buy a Ferrari, they don't want to be looked at like an old Ferrari, then they will not buy it. They'll buy one with the new body or the new feature. That can hurt you, but not a lot. It'll hurt you. Never like a normal car, but it will hurt you. And the biggest thing, the biggest problem with an exotic car, what a pain in. You get over 2,000 miles, they don't like it. Over 5,000, forget it. Forget it, except for wannabes. Now, I don't mean that as an insult. Wannabes are these guys you see, in the bars trying to pick up women, half their age, and they're living on, I call them $75,000 a year millionaires or $100,000 a year millionaires, and they have a big house, a mortgage to the gills, and no furniture. They can't afford it. It's that kind of person. They might overpay for one of those, but the real people won't. When I say the real people, the people financially who can afford it. The other thing is, so 2,000 is a magic number for a Ferrari. You want under 2,000 miles. It's not terrible if you get over 2, but if you get over 5, now you're really looking at a limited market, over 5,000 miles. It's terrible. It is terrible because of the exotic market. They don't want to see mileage. So you buy that car literally to take out on a sunny day to show off.
How about an accident? Nothing big, a medium size.
Nothing. No, you will be dead. If you had the most minor fender bender, you will be dead. It's done. Because when people have really minor fender benders, they don't run them through insurance, and they don't run them through a body shop that reports to Carfax. They don't. They have it fixed privately and never mention it. If a frame's involved, you may as well just tear up your investment. The only market there will be the wannabe market. That's with exotics. Somebody wanted to comment on depreciation. Jay, go ahead. What's your comment on depreciation of vehicles, sir?
Well, no, it was just a side note. You mentioned the Chevy Malibu.
Yes.
And I just rented one, drove it around, and they got some kind of new technology on these cars where every time you make a complete stop, the engine shuts off.
I've talked about that exact car.
I have that on my car.
Can't stand it.
Because
the AC goes hot.
No, it doesn't. Mine doesn't.
Mine did in the Malibu.
It didn't go hot. It didn't go hot. But what it is, it's a pain. If you stop that car 100 times a day, that engine kicks off, and then the minute you step your foot off the...
I didn't like it at all.
The engine kicks on. Who's going to pay for that starter?
But hold on.
Is that under the warranty?
Bro, they don't use the starter. It's a weird technology. It's I don't know how they do it, but it's not a full start when you do that. It's not a full start. It's a weird situation, but I got to tell you, mine does it so instantly that I promise you, a guy next to me, I can beat off the line because it's
that seems like a pain.
My only issue with it, literally on a hot day, and I happened to rent one when we got smashed, every time I came to the light, the AC would get warmer.
Jay, do you know that you can turn that eco function off?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you go to your main menu. You can turn it off. My car allows me to select it.
I don't know if you
Mark,
can.
I turn mine off.
I know you can. I don't know if you can on those little Malibus, though.
We may want to ask Chevy, or Rolly, or one of those guys. Can you guys turn it off or not? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
How does it work so instantly, though? I promise you, when I press down on the gas, I come off the line as fast as anyone. And it's starting. My RPMs are 0. It's just an amazing technology. Now, but you would think starting a car like that, you wouldn't save. But it does save. It stops. It's an anti-puffing device, basically. 303-713-8255. I got to tell you, we got a lot going on today, and I have to tell you about BioT. I have commercials running around the country now with BioT as a spokesperson because I love it so much. And I'm literally getting emails and calls saying, is this true? Really, really, really? Do you really feel that great? Yes, I do. BioTmedical.com. Go there and get a provider. It is hormone optimization. Now, you can get hormones anywhere, okay? Here's what's different. With BioT, they're bioidentical, they're natural, just like your body produces, and they're delivered naturally through a cardio-activated pellet under the skin, which secretes naturally like a gland. You never take shots or creams, so the efficacy is very, very high. biotmedical.com. Find a provider. You will love the way you feel. If you're exhausted and irritable and moody and you're getting older, 40 or older, you start depleting your hormones, men and women, for both testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid. That's biotmedical.com.
You can?
No. I understand. I had no problem. It was flawless, like you're talking. But I'm telling you that AC.
Yours has it, right?
You
have to have it, Mark.
I don't think I do have it. No, I don't have
That car has everything, Mark.
I don't think it has auto stop.
Okay. I would be shocked because it has as much as has everything else I have. It has more, actually.
Other people don't like the AC, though.
And a crash off highway being cleared at Colfax and Monaco.
Electric hydraulic.
Sunny today, 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms with a high near 79 tonight. Thunderstorms in the overnight hours here and there with a low of 58.
You guys watch the game last night?
I watched the first, 15 minutes.
That was the best part of the game.
Yeah, I think their first from scrimmage, they got a touchdown. Oh, no, it was a pick six.
Yeah.
Who got hurt, though? Someone, they said this morning, got hurt.
Defensive tackle, huh?
Was he a rookie?
No.
Okay. That's
4 or 5 years, yeah.
So they're talking here,
I don't know why that would help it not wear out any quicker. You know what I mean?
What's that?
Just reading about the Malibu start system.
What did it say?
It's handled solenoid starter. It's solenoid starter, but it uses an electric pump in the transmission to keep the transmission primed for the quicker.
Oh.
So
and then as far as the air conditioning, it says right here you can choose maximum or minimum on that. So you probably have an option to turn it over so you don't lose your air conditioning.
Because it has 2 batteries. It'll run the second battery when the car shuts off.
How does it restart, does it say?
It doesn't really get into the exact, but it uses a starter. I don't know what would a dual solenoid do for it. I mean, it obviously doesn't have to go through the ignition switch, then it just works out.
That's probably what it is. It's one ignition, one.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a start. I've driven them, man. You don't even hear it restart.
It's got to have some sort of magnetic motor. Just like a typical hybrid that gives you a push start.
Oh, maybe that is. Maybe you just nailed it.
Flywheel?
No, maybe it is purely battery.
Just like any electric motor, like on an RC car. Okay, as soon as you apply power, you've got instant torque. Okay, so if you've got a small magnetic motor, it gets you off the line.
Oh,
you've got it turning. You've got that electromagnetic clutch inside that transmission. It turns it just like you push start a car.
You're talking about a whole new electric motor, though.
No, they've been using them for eons on hybrid vehicles. Yeah. So a smaller version of that, you could easily get away with it, particularly with the electromagnetic converter they've got in there. Well, 2017, we won't be.
No, that's it. It's a battery.
So it's electric motor.
Well, no.
Yes, it's got to be.
No,
It just be a battery that.
No. What I'm reading though is all vehicles GM makes by 2020 are going to have this.
Oh, they also have. GM is also pioneering the 4-cylinder, 8-cylinder thing, right? Or the 4.
DOT is displacement on demand.
4, 6 to 8.
Yeah, well, they used it years ago. They
No. When you're going down the road, Mark, it turns off cylinders.
It's a 115-volt lithium-ion integrated battery. That's how it works.
So it's got to be a motor.
That's how what works, Mark.
And there's a little strip. Here's a picture of how it
Mark,
works.
that's how what works.
All these GM auto starts.
But it is an actual starter.
Protection.
If you've been injured in a car accident and it wasn't your fault, contact me. And I'll help you recover the money that you're entitled to.
You still have to rotate the engines for
It
years.
says 15 kilowatt electric motor generator, 115-volt lithium integrated battery.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
And on a 4-cylinder, it's not going to take a lot to turn that thing open.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
Starter's basically electric motor.
Brakes would stop. It was easy like
So that
1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of
Is that electric motor push it?
Well, in a matter of speaking, now, you take that electric motor and you have an electric, you have that electric torque converter inside that, okay? So that torque converter locks up, it's going to turn it just like a clutch.
1575.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeartRadio.
It's actually a pretty large battery in the diagram.
It's got dual batteries in there.
Yeah, it's got 2 of them.
September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to Win Your Trip.
So if you're on like a really, like in LA and stuff, all that, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Just can't.
You don't feel it though. You, honest to God, don't feel it.
It's just hard to get used to.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Car day today, but we'll talk about anything you want. 303-713-TALK. Lisa wants a second opinion on repairs. Lisa, what's going on with you?
Hi, good morning, Tom.
What's going on?
Well, I've got a Volkswagen Passat.
Yeah.
Having some power steering problems, and my local mechanic suggested that I have air in the system due to a leak in the rack and pinion.
Wait a minute, a leak in the rack and pinion, would that affect? Oh, okay, because what does he mean by a leak in the rack and pinion?
Well, it's introducing air into the system, so on one of the return lines, there's a leak that instead of just fluid is pulling air in as well.
So what would be the result in the steering?
Making noise and then hard to turn.
Yes,
so for that little
period,
okay. Like it's an on and off automatic.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in the rack or not, obviously, without seeing it, but it's usually in one of the hoses by the reservoir.
So the way that works, that power, the way that works is with fluid, and as you turn, it assists you.
Exactly.
And if it comes into a pocket of air, it stops assisting.
Just like any pump, if it starts pulling air, you'll get a whining noise or something.
Is that what's happening, Lisa?
Yes, yeah, it's making
So what is the
noises.
What is the recommendation to fix?
So I have 2 questions. Number one, they want $2,100 to fix it.
That sounds steep to me.
I thought so too.
What else?
And the second thing is it so complicated that I could trust my local guy, or should I take it to the dealer?
Okay, let's take both questions. First, the price.
I'd have to look it up.
If they had to rebuild those seals, what are we talking about?
I don't know, racks or...
You usually just replace the entire rack itself if you get to that point.
Okay, so what would that cost? What would that cost?
What year Passat is it?
A 2012.
He might be pretty close. I'm going to say he might be 100 or 200 over, but he's pretty close.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
On replacing that, both rack and pinion, is it both? Do you have both sides, or is it one unit?
It's one unit.
It's one unit for both sides.
I'm trying to look up a price.
We're looking up. Now, your next question, is it too complicated for an independent? No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I mean, if you have someone you know and trust, I would get a second opinion.
They could be very close in price, a dealer and, wherever else you get it, your local guy.
Very seldom does that happen unless you're a dealer that is used to doing that. A lot of dealers are higher.
Well, the one other thing that kind of makes me nervous is I just had it in and they did an alignment, and they didn't notice that.
Would they notice that? Would they notice that in an alignment? I don't think so. Would they?
Well, if it's leaking fluid, they should have noticed it. Are you losing fluid? I mean, seeing spots or?
No.
Can it just be bled, guys? Can it be bled? Is it possible that it only got fluid once, and in other words, when they were filling or servicing, and possibly, like, when did it start? All of a sudden?
No, it's been going on for a few months, and I thought an alignment
Did it happen
would take care of the
after?
problem.
Did it happen after any particular service?
No, truly not. It's just I thought I was having an alignment issue, and that's why I had it in for an alignment. So clearly that didn't take care of the problem.
You know what I'm getting at, guys. Could it possibly be? Could it possibly be that she had it serviced at one time, and it got air in there, and now it just needs to be bled?
It should have been something she would have noticed immediately after a service if that was the case, though. I mean, if she took it in for one service and then she comes out with the problem, then yes, I would say so. But if this is something that happened over time, then there's a problem someplace where she's grabbing air.
But that's usually in the return side, which are the hoses and the reservoir. It's typically not in the rack.
Usually not the rack itself. That's correct.
I would definitely get a second opinion.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, get it. Now, listen, where are you located, Kevin? Tell her.
There's 2 places, Aurora 2nd and Havana, or Lakewood at Colfax and Wadsworth.
And tell them where you are, Jeff.
I'm at 6830 South Jordan Road. We're a block and a half south of Arapahoe on Jordan.
Or go to the referral list at referrallist.com, Lisa. Okay, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. What's going on now? We talked to you yesterday. You had this unusual problem where you had this massive $30,000 solar system, or $35,000, that you actually bought the lease up front. You literally paid the lease in advance.
Yeah, and I looked through my paperwork, and I guess it's more like it's a $26,000 system.
Okay, but you paid in advance. You paid. No, it looks like more than that now, doesn't it? Oh wait, $5,400.
Yes, that's right.
So you paid $5,400. Now, what is the problem? I see it's pretty straightforward. USA Solar. I don't know who they are, but this is supposedly how many year lease?
20 years.
Where does it actually say that on here? I don't actually see anything that says it's even a lease.
It says system lease.
Oh, yeah, solar system prepaid lease option. Got it. But it doesn't say, does it, how long the lease is?
It says 20 years.
Where?
Well, at the bottom, Tom. Repair, 20 years.
Okay, it says system lease includes web-based remote system monitoring for 20 years, warranty and repair 20 years, performance guarantee, insurance coverage, flexible to upgrade later, price quote valid for 30 days, total system value $26,400. Okay, but what does it say about at the end of the lease? Where is that written? Where is the actual lease?
Well, it's really long. I mean, I could send that to you.
Well, no, I don't need it. What I mean is, at the end of this lease, after paying not all these years, you just paid $5,400. After paying $5,400, at the end of 20 years, not that we care, right? It's 20 years, but what happens? Do you owe money?
No, and we can either choose to have them remove the system, or we could
continue
negotiate with them to keep it.
All right. So now, what is the problem? Now I understand this, and it is
okay.
And it does appear to be a pretty good savings.
Yeah, it could save us a lot of money. But the problem is our production has gone down to about half suddenly, and
what do you mean that? What do you mean your projection?
Our production of the electricity, it was 600 kilowatt hours back in April of 2016, but for some reason it suddenly dropped in April of this year, and just as a comparison, it was only 367 kilowatt hours. And then I talked to Excel.
Are you saying your usage, your consumption as a family, you're using less electricity?
Oh no, I'm saying that the electricity that our solar energy system produced has
is less.
Dropped. Yeah, to about half.
Why did it drop? It sounds like one of the inverters is off or something.
Yeah, we don't know why it dropped. We did have some electrical problems.
Well, it's something. Well, why won't they? Listen, it says here performance and insurance. I mean, why won't they come out? Warranty and repair for 20 years. So they have to come out and check it.
Yeah, and we're trying to get a hold of them, but
so that's the
their
problem.
Phone number is disconnected.
Oh, okay.
And their website is down.
Well, they're probably out of business. So who are you paying? Wait.
So.
No. Here's what you do. Stop making your payment.
Well, we already made all the payments.
Oh, that's right. Why did I say that? You're paying in advance. You paid one lump sum. Okay.
Right.
Who wrote this solar? It's not them. Who's the lease? Who's the lessor?
Well, we're actually leasing it.
Who's the lessor? Who is the leasing company?
Well, USA Solar. That's the only name we ever got. So and we don't know who's getting our rebate.
Here's the good part. Here's the really good news. If they're out of business, and they did not sell this lease, then you own the system. They'll never come back for it. No one will ever come back for it. You own it for $5,400. No matter what. You got a $5,400 system. I mean, you did not get hurt here. So all we need to do is find someone to fix it. That's really what you need. We need someone to fix it. There's something obviously wrong, and it's probably something simple. It sounds like half the system went out because you said 50%. I think half the system went out, a leg went out, something went out, and I'm thinking you have dual inverters and an inverter went out. That's my thought. That is my, or it has to be reset. It just sounds simple to me.
Should you just have an electrician look at it then?
Normal electricians don't know these systems. Normal ones. Some do.
Yeah,
now, do we know anyone, Mark? My God, our experience in the solar business has
horrible.
been dreadful. Oh,
I signed nothing on this USA Solar, by the way.
Yeah, now, if they did not... Listen, here's what they probably did. You gave them $5,000. They got a 30% tax credit as a company. Okay,
right.
So they got 20, they literally got out of this, right? Let's say times 30%. Let's see what they got. They got 79 plus what you paid them, which was $54.40. They netted out of this $13.3. That's probably what the system cost them.
Yeah. And there's some sort of
so they probably got
someone.
Hold on, they probably got the system for $13.3. I'm trying to think where these people make their money on this. Mark, where do they make their money? They got paid the tax thing, plus they got paid from her. They got paid $13,300. They say the value is
an rebate too, but we don't know who's getting that now.
No, the rebate's all at once.
Oh, that's not what I was told.
Are they getting the energy kickback? Are they getting the money from the grid back? Or does she?
She has to get it. They can't feed it to someone else. It comes right from her meter. It's net metering.
Yeah, I know, but with the net metering, could they have gotten that credit, though? No?
No. Here's the deal. I don't know what their game is because it doesn't sound like they made a lot of money on this thing to just leave. Here's what I would do, Deborah. Let us help you. Stay in touch with us. Anyone who knows anyone in the solar business that can repair systems, let us know. You're ahead of the game, even if you have to maintain this.
Do they attach that to the house when it's a lease like that?
Yes, of course they do. Yep.
So she's going to have a problem either way if she tries to sell it.
We should know it because it's already paid for. She already paid for it, Mark. There are no payments due. For a lack of a better word, she owns that lease for 20 years. Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. Did they sell that lease? I don't know. But who cares? It's 20 years. The worst that happens is she maintains it. That's the worst that happens. And she keeps track of that maintenance, and at the end, she owns it. And if they try to come and get it, she tells them to pound sand.
I wonder if they must have just packed up and left.
Oh, you go look at, they're like, whatchamacallit, solar, whatever. They're gone. What is the name of that place? They're gone. They're just gone, my God.
Well, I thought those leases worked that they pay so much for the
but she paid up front.
electricity that they
paid up front.
No, that's what I was trying to say.
No,
were they getting the credit?
Right.
No.
That's how.
That's net metering. You can't have a net meter and say, I want my credit to go over there or to another person. It's net metering. It comes off your bill. You don't get a check. It just you pay less.
And they can't credit the company.
Right.
Okay.
So the tax credit went to the company, but that was only $70-something hundred. Then they got the $5,000. They only got paid $13,000. That system probably cost them. Well, now maybe they made their money there, right there. Maybe that's where they made their money. That $13,000, maybe their profit on that was $3,000. Maybe. And they put down this bogus value of $26,400.
Seems awful cheap.
Did you know?
But they did, somehow.
Say goodbye to slow backups.
And they didn't even have a lease to sell, Mark.
How much did she pay up front on the lease?
$5,400.
How long was the lease?
20 years.
And that's the total amount, $5,400?
Total due. Not one penny.
I wonder why they wrote it up as a lease then.
Because she didn't want to pay the 26 or whatever. She just
something's wrong.
She wanted to pay. Look, Mark, here's what she did. She took 20 payments. Look, 12 payments, right? Times 20.
All this is only a phone.
That's 240 payments. Take 5440 divided by 220. She's paying $24 a month on that. Mark, she's paying $24 a month on it. Basically, that's what she did in advance. She definitely got ahead. She definitely came out ahead.
Well, this is only her front.
Well, that's the only thing. But if she got that whole system for $5,400,
I think there's something else.
No, she's missing something. There's no way.
What is she?
Not only that, this is 2012. In 2012, you're not getting a solar system for 13 grand.
Just go to
Right? I mean, really.
Well, no, but that's not her problem right now.
Well, I get that.
She paid for it. What do you guys not see? She has a system on her home for $5,400. Who gives a fuck?
That's true.
Line 2 owns a small,
There's hardly any maintenance on those things.
Line 2 owns a small, it's called Renewable Independence. He'd be happy to troubleshoot for Deborah.
Good.
I think he'd be good to have on the air
Good.
and talk.
Good.
It's just, he might be a good potential.
Ask him if it's even possible to do this for them. I'm curious.
Well, obviously, they didn't probably think they were going to go out of business. Maybe they had a bigger plan, Mark.
But regardless, she still paid the whole lease up front. That's all they were going to get.
Right. Plus the tax of $7,400. I figured they got $13,000 some odd dollars total. That's what they got.
Now this is only a quote, so we're assuming that this is her actual deal too.
But she's had it there for years now and hasn't paid another penny.
Yeah.
The only complaint she has is that her production went down.
They might have taken her $5,400, sold the fucking lease.
But how do you sell it? What are they selling? She's not making any payments. What are they selling? So would you buy a lease that pays out in 20 years? Hey, in 20 years, this person's going to pay you a residual.
Hell no, not on a solar system.
Of course, who would? I mean, for all we know, a hailstorm could destroy it.
Still seems too fucked up.
It is weird.
The technology in 20 years.
But it's fucked up, not against her. I don't see a downside for her. Name a downside for her right now. A downside. That system, minimum, as described, minimum, would have cost her 20 grand.
Well, ask the 600 kilowatt system would be, the guy that's coming on.
How big of a system is that? Normal, like Highlands Ranch?
It's not big at all.
Yeah, that one.
It's only a supplemental system. It's not a kick-ass system.
It's a little system.
The burn is at their regular
It's 600 kilowatts, is that what it says?
Call now, 303.
Did she say too she doesn't even use all the power from it?
No, she says it's producing half the power. They do. They don't have any net metering. She says they use every bit of it plus still pay more. They only get like $100 off, they said. No, this array is, it's way more than,
one of those that had just opened.
They have, here it is, total number, 300 watt times a total of 16 watt.
Well, better than it was last week.
It's not watt.
It's LED.
4.8 kilowatt. 4.8 kilowatt.
Okay. She said 630.
It's a 4.8 kilo. No, it's a 6 point. They have two arrays. They have a 6.8 kilowatt.
Hi, we have a solar expert that called in, and this is very interesting. Although it is car day, we'll get to car problems, 303-713-TALK. You can also call 303-MARTINO. Evan identifies himself with Renewable Independence. And, Evan.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Hey, man, you're in the solar business?
Yes, I am. I've worked for Solar City and Tesla, but we just started, my partner and I, our own solar company as well.
So listen, I'm reading this array here, and it says she has a 4.8 and a 2,000 for a total of 6.8 kilowatt system. How much would a 6.8 kilowatt system cost to install of photovoltaic?
Well, you're usually looking, there's a lot of variables, but anywhere between $2.50 and $3 a watt.
Okay, so let's go on, so if she has 6.8, so that's...
Correct.
That's 6,800.
Right, and I don't know when she bought the system, but, it's probably a $20,000 to $22,000 system. It could be 25.
Yeah,
depending on how many inverters she has and all that.
Okay, I'll tell you, she has 2 arrays, and she has... it says 250 watt Lumos grid tie modules, and it says an SMA 5000 grid tie inverter, low profile mounting. It says PVC and metal conduit, and it sounds like a legit system. Here's her only complaint. it went from producing what it was producing to half. Could that be a simple problem of an inverter going out?
It could even be simpler than that, Tom. I mean, there could be pests on a roof that might have chewed through one of those lines for one of the array legs. There could be a multitude of problems. It could be the inverter.
But I want to ask you something. You're in the business. Sure. I want to ask you something. USA Solar back in 2012, they did this system, okay, on the comm. They did this system. They got a tax credit of about $8,000. Let's just round it off, of about $8,000. And then she paid him $5,400. So I want to know how they made money when they only collected that a total of $13,400. How did they make money?
Well, it sounds like they paid for parts and materials, basically. And I think you're right. I mean, if the company went out of business and she hasn't heard anything, she essentially owns that system. Yeah, for $5,400. I mean, how can she go wrong? Because it was a $20,000 minimum system. Right. And they probably had her on like a 5-year lease or something like that, I would assume. No, it was a 20-year lease, they said, but if she made all the payments up front, they discounted it to $5,400. It clearly says 20-year lease paid in advance, $5,440. Wow. That's impressive. Yeah. That's probably why they're not in business anymore, Tom. That's right. But this woman, I don't know if she realizes it. She came out ahead. I mean, she has a system here, even if she pays for maintenance. There's not much maintenance on a good system. No, not at all. And you know, I've called in before. You helped me with some landlord problems a couple months ago. And I'd be happy to make a free visit out to her house. That would be wonderful. Hey, Deborah. Yeah. Hey, Deborah.
Yes,
I don't think that you're doing bad here. I think you have a $20,000 system for $5,400, and even if you had to put money into getting it back up and running full potential, it could be something very simple. And Evan's going to give you an assessment free of charge. Okay. Okay.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you.
And then I'd like Evan to call me back. So Suzanne, let's make that connection. Wow, I love it when a plan comes together like that. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Does my heart good, because this woman's going to come out ahead, and I don't think the company, that's what I said, it doesn't sound like a lying, cheating company to me. It doesn't. Genesis Total Exteriors, by the way, they're doing solar windows. Do you know that? Solar windows. So if you are getting windows done, they have passive solar windows that feed the grid, and no matter what, they will pay something over the time you have them. And they're no more expensive than good windows. And if you get them, they will generate electricity over time, and they will pay for themselves. They also do gutters and painting and fences and decks and roofing, and they do kitchens, baths, basements. Give them a call, 303-679-8509. Ask about those solar windows, 303-679-8509. GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
This point is brought to you by Facebook discussion. Typical delays in the drive across the Mile High City right now. Northbound I-35 slow downtown, starting at Alameda, doesn't let up until it gets north of Colfax. Southbound slow south of the I-70 interchange, traveling down towards Spear as well. Westbound I-70 slow the elevated portion. Westbound 270 stop and go on the approach to Vasquez as well. Your weather forecast: 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms today with a high near 79 tonight. Isolated thunderstorms cloudy in the overnight hours. The low of 58 tomorrow, mostly sunny. 20% chance of afternoon thunderstorms, a high near 82. Right now, cloudy and 63. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner.
What the hell's his name?
630 K-How. It's Ford Summer Sales Event going on now at your local Ford stores. It is the perfect time to get into a new Ford car, truck, or SUV with the best offers of the year on America's best-selling brand. But hurry, it all ends soon. Ford. Go.
I don't know where I read it.
Deal with the garage door.
Oh wait, I remember what I googled though. Hold on, you said it was about no, just one comment. Exactly what you said. One comment.
through your concrete.
How come?
That's why. Advanced mud jacking.
It wasn't even like a super, it was truly more of just a question, you know what I mean? It wasn't put in a really vicious way.
Advanced mud jacking, 303-424-9441, or email me, advancedmudjacking@yahoo.com.
The Stem Cell Institute of America is in Denver, so if you're suffering from osteoarthritis of the knee, low back, neck, shoulders, hips, or other joint pain, stop and listen.
Hey, Tom, you may have to just come back without any bumper music. My next gen crashed on me.
Find solutions.
So I'll keep you posted. Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. It just came back. We're good. You get everything said.
In Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, and other places, including...
Make your mind up.
Sure to be one near you.
Shut your face.
Seminars on regenerative
Music, no music, come on.
888-60
so fast, Mark.
And for information, visit stemcelltherapyforpain.com. I'm Tom Martino. I had stem cell therapy on my lower back, and it's nothing short of a miracle. Within 1 week, 90% of my pain was gone. And now, I don't even remember the pain. Start living.
Oh, this might have been it. Hold on here.
628-1899.
Coloradans 62 and older, are you not feeling as financially secure as you'd like to? Is cash flow tight? Are you retiring or experiencing a life change? And do you own your own home? Then consider a reverse mortgage financing.
They can be.
Using the equity in your home.
No, I know what crap is. It's not good.
More than your house is worth.
Lacking sensitivity, refinement.
I don't mind the lacking sensitivity, then it gets bad.
Refinement? You don't care very about that.
No.
Or intelligence.
That I don't know. That one gets me, Now, when you said that, do you mean definition 1, 2?
I like the first word.
Financing today at 303.
Use that in a sentence.
7,000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
And they're one of them.
12334 regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
What makes one business rise above?
Why do some grow while others simply maintain? Time after time, consistently successful.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I want to be on one. We were talking about last week. A lot of these car dealers, they want to be mandated. It just got to go on a lot. Just make it rules so I can get to do the auction line.
5 times more hires than any other job site.
Never seen a band-aid that won't fall
Higher
off.
than the rest combined. Businesses that work
they want
smart
you to
choose partners
put it
that
back on
have
every
proven
time it
track
falls off.
records.
Oh, yeah.
It's no wonder
You're not one of them out there.
businesses choose Indeed.
Yeah.
To make it even better, right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing and relevant search results and helping you find qualified candidates faster. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit.
That's just the extent of warranty.
Indeed.com/credit. Indeed. The
Oh,
world's
that's why I
number
turn
one
around and
job
say,
site.
okay, this is
Smart
what
companies
the
like
ones
yours.
want to do.
Terms, conditions, and terms apply.
Has the IRS emptied your bank account?
And I've had some of them where they get in a fight with the board.
I can't find it.
You realize I'm charging you $100 a day storage, I'll just take it from my list.
I don't know if you had to do it, some of you said, I can't stand you. You said that earlier.
I have one.
You said that, right?
They get results.
Can't stand you.
Can't stand you.
I'm Tom Martino here. Welcome, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Brent has a comment on that solar system. He's a solar contractor in the Springs. Go ahead, Brent. What's happening?
Hello, Tom. How you doing today?
Good, man. What is your comment on that lease thing?
Well, I don't like leases typically as a rule because you're kind of just trading one master for another, but trust me, they're making money on this. If you look really hard into the contract, a lot of times what they'll do is you produce X amount of energy per month, and that is credited to you by your utility company at X rate per kilowatt hour produced. And some of the ones I've seen in the past, what they'll do is they will take a percentage of that production to be set aside for O&M, operations and maintenance fund that is used by the company to pay salaries and so on and so forth. So you may not be seeing 100% credit versus your production actually credited back.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, but hold on. But Brent, in this particular case, she paid in full for the 20 years.
That's not unheard of. It's a down payment kind of thing. But where they're making their money is
she
the
has
tax
no
credit.
Well, how would we know?
But here, no, what I'm getting at is, if you take 20 years at $5,400, you say it's a down payment. Well, it doesn't matter. She's not paying another dime for 20 years. So if you look at $5,400 plus the $8,000 tax credit in this case, if it truly was put in at that $26,000 value, they collected theoretically $13,400.
Yep, up front.
On a 6.8 kilowatt system. And you keep saying up front, but in my opinion, 20 years is an eternity in business, and I doubt they're doing it on the come, because they're not going to get any additional money for 20 years.
Unless they're taking that out of a percentage of her production that's actually credited by the utility to her, because part of that production might be credited to an account, an O&M account that is owned and operated by that company if they're still in existence.
So you can do that, because I didn't think you could do that. So hold on. Are you saying...
If it's in the contract.
I'm not talking about the contract, Brent. I'm not talking about the contract. I'm talking about technically, when I have a solar system in my home, let's say, and it overproduces and there is a credit, can I literally have that credited to another account?
It doesn't even have to overproduce.
What do you mean?
Correct.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There's no production necessary. You just take your total monthly production. If they were crediting her back at 100% of what she made, they would clock her during the day. They would credit her back at wholesale rate, because they're not buying that at retail. They're buying it at wholesale. And then at night, when she's using power, they're charging her back at retail. So yes, they are buying all the production from her that she's making during the day that she's not using and actually sending back to the grid.
We got to see her contract.
Well, whatever it is, man, I don't know. But one thing that did happen, she said, her production went from X amount to 1/2 X. Now, I'm wondering now that...
She's got a string inverter. She's got a string inverter with more than one string up there. One of the strings is not producing for some reason, be it a fault in the inverter or something up on the rope itself, a loose wire, or the other gentleman suggested a squirrel or something.
Or, Brent, after you brought up what you brought up, let me give you another supposition. What if this company went out of business and a new company took it over and started crediting themselves more? And to her, it looks like her system is producing less.
There should be a reading on their meter. Down here we have a couple of different systems.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, but she doesn't know how to read it. All she knows is on her electric bill, she is being credited less. That's right, half. That's right. Could it be that someone dipped into her account and is taking more of her production?
Not legally.
No, not
a clause in there, but it's possible. That would have to be done through the utility company, and I don't see any way they could do that on the sly.
If we had her address, could we call that utility company to see if someone else has taken these credits?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because she owns that account.
Very, very interesting. I did not know you could have a solar system.
Online monitoring. If there's online monitoring that she's got there, and she still has access to that web account and the data that it has there, you can go back through and look at past months and see what her production levels were, and then look at current months and see what her production levels were, and see if you've got basically the same numbers. If it's half and you see that you think you might have a string down, fine. But if you're seeing the same production and she's only getting credited half,
Brent, we understand. You said it, and we appreciate it, because now you've opened our eyes to something else. I just did not know that you could literally produce solar.
I got to bring something up here.
What?
I said this like 30 minutes
and
ago.
I said I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
And now I'm saying he just told me something.
But you don't know him. How come you didn't tell him it wasn't possible?
No, because he's in the business.
Okay.
No, you said, here's what Mark said. Mark said, off the air, he said, I think they're taking some of her electricity and some of that credit. And I said, no, you can't.
They have to be in there somewhere.
I said there's a net.
Doing it for free.
I said there's a net meter. In most cases, you don't actually get a check from the electric company. You just pay less in electricity. That's how it's done, through net metering.
Correct.
Okay. Yep. So I thought, well, if you have a net meter on your house, how the hell can someone else benefit from it? But you're telling me
the utility will set it up to where a percentage of that production transaction is actually diverted to the
right. Yeah, I know. Now I know that. I did not know that was even possible, that you could divert credits. I didn't even know it was possible.
Contracting to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I know you said it, Brent. You said it. On this show we never repeat things more than 6,000 times. Now, but I do like you. I mean, you're very smart. Get his name and number for our solar questions. You brought up a topic that we never thought of. That is wonderful. I mean, it really is. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Oh, I want to ask him another question. Brent, are you there?
Still here.
Are you from Texas? Are you from Texas?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, because he has the same voice inflection as Mikey, so I thought I just associate. Doesn't he? Exactly the same as Mikey?
I didn't pick up on it.
Think about it. Okay.
Have him say y'all.
Hold on a sec. Hey, no, Brent, just talk.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
actually,
you heard it.
just
You
that
just
yes,
heard
sir.
it. Right. Exactly. He sounds just like
y'all, but I don't use that one a lot.
Doesn't he sound like Mikey? Okay, you sound like our IT guy. Okay, anyway. 303-713-TALK. Suzanne, I accidentally disconnected line 3. I feel so bad when my fat finger hit that button. Who was it? What was he calling about?
It was a follow-up from construction defects last week with Sid Malone or something.
Please call back, sir. If you have that question, I disconnected you by mistake. Please call. We'll get to all of your calls. End car day coming up. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino.
Okay. Does he? I thought Michael just calling in under another name. I guess, sir. He had that same exact voice.
Once you said it.
His voice inflection is so incredibly the same.
Your retirement every Saturday on 6:30 K House.
Mike is very distinct.
What's that? I was wondering if you were going to say something because he said exactly what you said.
I know. And then he goes, then Tom keeps going, we thought. I'm like, who's we?
I thought that was impossible to do because of net metering. What he is saying is, before it even gets to the meter, it's diverted.
A lot of those fuckers, that's how they rip people off, man.
How does that get diverted?
They just simply credit it to a different account. It's like a bank account.
That's amazing how they can, yeah.
But that's how a lot of them make their money. It's that right there.
For more information,
reselling their stuff.
Well, because they know most people can only get in with X amount per month on a lease. So where they really make the money's there. But then the funny part is you start doing the math, shit, you're saving $10 a month for all this fucking hassle and this shit on your house.
On 6:30 K now. Plus with Jeff, we're talking about those new shingles. Elon Musk.
Those are cool, man. When he's done, here's where he's going to kill. Batteries, man. This guy's got a plant they're opening in Nevada, or they already have. Shit, you'll be able to store power in these batteries for shingles for weeks.
Failing to pass a new healthcare bill.
Calling for support and
because right now, let's face it, the batteries suck.
Yeah, it's far more attractive.
And it's hail-proof. And
hail-proof,
Now, the ones they have right at the Nevada and the California state line, one of the largest ones I've ever seen. It's right in the middle of the desert. What they do is they aim the panels and they constantly move with the sun. I mean, it's huge. And was it salt? Yeah. They go right to these, there's only 3 of these huge containers, like size of this building. And all the panels reflect sunlight directly onto these containers that have salt in them. That somehow creates steam, and then there's your power.
Wow.
That's pretty badass, but it's way more efficient than what we're talking about, but most people can't do that in their backyard. Sure. You'd have to have a hell of a backyard.
You're very salty.
And a big fucking
You're very salty.
That's going to cost a lot. They call up the Morton Company. I need a truck.
Will that deplete the salt then after a while?
I think it just heats it and cools it. It just holds the heat. Yeah.
Just holds the heat.
Oh, it's crazy looking. It is so big. We drove by it and I'm going, I understand the solar panels, but I can't. They almost look like huge watchtowers over a prison.
No, they're mirrors though, right? These are mirrors.
Yeah, they're not actually solar panels. All they are is mirrors that reflect right onto there. I don't even know why they need them. It's so hot there, man. Shit, it's hot in the middle of nowhere out there. It's like Death Valley's right around the corner from this place.
It's a sponsored job, boosting your listing and relevant search results.
You think you're going to go to that Eclipse?
The world's #1 job.
He wants to be in like that song. The Carly Simon song?
Him and Ross should drive up there and sing Kumbaya while holding hands.
Where are you going to go watch it?
We're going to be I didn't realize we're going to be 90% heat.
Yeah, Denver's not a bad place at all. Yeah.
No, he was going to go right. What is it? A farm, right, in Wyoming?
Ranch.
Well, if you get away from the lakes,
Nebraska.
It's 40 miles north of Ogallala.
How long does it take you to fly?
40 miles north of Ogallala, just about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, he was going to fly
an
up.
hour, a little more.
Why don't you fly up and just fly right back?
Yeah. I was thinking of that too. I can go the next morning. I can go on Monday morning, right? Because what time is it?
11:15 or something like that.
I could go.
It only lasts, what, a minute?
All
right, Mark, it's getting dark. I'm headed back.
I would broadcast live on Facebook and then with you guys.
And then you can just cover up and say, yep, it's dark.
You think you might do live on Facebook. You don't know you're going to a ranch.
As far as Denver's concerned, it's supposed to start at
but I'll be in a helicopter. I'm going to be up in the air.
Okay.
I want
that doesn't fuck with any instruments or anything.
I hope not.
As far as Denver's concerned, it starts at 10:23, ends at quarter after 1. Most of the tally we're going to get quarter to.
So we're running 90% here.
Yeah, that's 45. Casper's 100%. Casper's really big.
Why don't we go to fucking Wait a minute. Why is he going to Ogallala, for God's sake?
He's never been to Nebraska.
Wait.
No, I'm kidding.
Wyoming.
He wanted to see how far he could get you to go.
Casper's 100%.
Then I'm going to fly. How far is Casper from here?
Then you get a hotel.
That Ogallala is 169 miles. Then I got to go north 40 or 50 once I go out there. I may not do that. That's ugly terrain. If I can go up to Wyoming to Casper.
Casper's pretty far north.
Is it farther than Ogallala? I mean,
probably.
Okay.
It's coming down from Oregon down to South Carolina.
Denver to Casper. Let's just see how long it is.
But if you go high enough in the air here,
Denver to Casper,
depending on your angle, your solar angle.
Oh, that's way farther. It's 277 miles.
Yeah, but there's a hotel there.
Yeah,
but if you can get one.
You're right.
It's sold out. It's sold out. Casper's sold out.
My aunt owns.
I can get you an RV if you want to use an RV, but it's going to be a small one. It's a nice little one.
But I can.
It's a little Thor.
I got a tent in the car.
You could pull it with the helicopter, huh? The RV.
No, that's it. That's the whole problem. How you going to get the RV down?
Have somebody would drive it out there and meet me, but I was just going to fly for fun. But I might fly out to that ranch
and then fly back.
Or not even go to the ranch. I'll just fucking be in the air. Who gives a shit if I'm with a bunch of weirdos? I mean, I could be by myself with a friend. I just take a friend and we fly out there.
Instead
if you're going to do that, you at least have to have spotlights for everybody down on the ground.
So it'll just be normal darkness, right?
Yeah.
Normal darkness.
With solar flares.
Yeah, that's what you'd be able to see.
Jet engines aren't affected. I don't give a shit about instruments. What instruments are there? I'm just sitting there. But
okay. Now I've seen it.
It's interesting.
You just cover up.
Hey, where's that line? How did you find the line of where it's going to be? Maybe
you can look at it.
Oh, yeah,
it's like saying it's from Oregon down to.
Where is it?
Look it up.
Send them a link.
Send me a link on Google. I'm on Google because I'd like to.
What's the eclipse called? Anything?
A total eclipse of the sun.
Just like the song.
Just like the song. Boy, those guys really saw into the future.
Hurry in. 5,000 store sale ends Monday. Only at your neighborhood Ace.
I thought there was one not long ago, honestly.
There wasn't in Australia.
Oh yeah, look at this map. This is a. This guy says everybody's wrong now.
What?
This guy really does.
It says it's not going to happen.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take complaints. We are here to solve problems. Media with a purpose. So let's do it. It's car day today, and we have a lot to talk about. If you have a car problem, question, or complaint on maintenance or sales or upkeep, fixing, second opinions, and then, of course, anything else you want to talk about, okay? Now, Bob, I disconnected by mistake. He had a question about a previous call. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Tom, you may remember this was last week. I talked about some defects at a house I bought from Sid Malone.
Yes.
Now, Dan contacted Sid, He talked to him on the phone, and Sid said he would come back on, but then stopped answering his phones.
Yeah, and I've left several messages. He's never
Now, what were those defects?
He's not the neighbor, right? That's a different one?
No, that's different. What were the defects?
Well, there were numerous ones. The wiring didn't meet code. The roof leaks. There were plumbing defects.
And this was a new build?
Yes, it was. And you know, Sid's approach, or his response to Dan was that he wasn't the builder, which was just silly. He may not have been pounding the nails, but he owned the property. It was built as a spec home. It was never occupied.
Under an LLC.
Yeah, it's Malone Holdings LLC. He bought this property as part of a $1.9 million purchase in 2007.
So why didn't you get this checked out before you bought it?
Well, so all these defects, you know, I did have a home inspection. He missed the roof. All these defects were missed by the state and county inspectors. So the electrical was not to code. The state missed that.
When it's not to code, what are we talking about?
This was the house with the...
no, I'm talking... Yeah, the actual defect, I mean.
The actual defect were multiple. All the lights in the ceilings, they're can lights installed in the ceiling.
They did not have the top hat.
Right, and they weren't insulated rated.
And you said you can't retrofit them, is what you told.
No, I've solved that problem. I fixed it all. All the wall fixtures, the lights that were on the walls were just screwed into the drywall with no boxes.
God.
There were lots and lots of problems, but you know, I have managed to rectify all the electrical problems.
They literally hung wall fixtures on drywall with bare wire.
That's correct.
No boxes. They pigtailed the wire out of the drywall, hooked up the wire nuts, and screwed it to the drywall.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Unbelievable.
You know, the amazing thing is the state inspector missed all this. And I know from the electrician...
he's not going to go into the walls, though, is he? The inspector?
No. But
as they're going.
But a rough-in inspection would have shown the boxes.
Right.
So man. He missed all this. Now, you know, the electrician who was hired by Sid to do the electrical work has admitted to me that he was bribed by Sid. He said, you know, keep it cheap and let my guy do some of the work, look the other way, and I'll let you hunt on my land. Said he owns lots of land in that area. The electrician said I was stupid to do it. It was the biggest mistake I ever did. And he came back and he fixed everything. So the electrical is now fixed. The roof still leaks. I've had a roofer come out and give me a quote. The roofer says this roof is not built. Actually, I've had more than one roofer.
So where are we going with this right now, bro? Where are we going with this?
Well, you know, I've contacted Sid through my lawyer. Basically, my lawyer, you know, we've gotten responses from him.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, this has to be headed for a lawsuit. He won't give a damn what we say about him on the air.
Yeah, I mean, that's really where it is. And you know, we've notified him under the Colorado statute regarding construction defects. And he's basically said pound sand. My lawyer advised, and I think it was the right decision, was to spend the money I had to at least make the house livable. We didn't have a water system that worked. The water would fail about every 2 weeks. It was obviously not safe from an electrical standpoint, so I managed to get that fixed. The roof is still leaking, but I think I've got the money to do that.
Is this clown building any other houses?
He's a developer back east and here. If you look at his website, Malone Holdings.
Well, we should find one he's got for sale out here. We might be able to stir a little trouble.
Yeah, he's got commercial sale properties listed on that website for sale in Rifle. He's also got properties around me. The property neighboring me, which is bare land, is still for sale. He's had several of them. If you go to that website and look under what he calls recreational properties.
So what is your end game here? What do you want from us?
Well, I don't know that there's anything you can do. I was hoping to get pressure on Sid to actually get him to come to the table and at least pay for some of the cost of replacing the roof. He's done exactly what I expected, which is he responded, and then once he figured out what it was about, he stopped responding. He did that to the electrician, by the way. When when I contacted the state and said, how could this have passed, the state made the electrician come out. We initially thought it was just a few minor issues, and the electrician contacted Sid and said, we've got a few minor issues with the electrical. And Sid's wife actually told him, go ahead, fix them, we'll pay you. And then we looked further and discovered that this was a much bigger deal. And they
Did you call the roofer as well, like you called the electrician? Did you try going direct?
I think the roofer was this fellow Mark, which he's trying to point the finger at as being a builder. He's not a licensed roofer. He had him do it. He was just a guy that was, you know, built the house for me. He calls himself a builder.
Well, so like I said, what's your end game? You just want to put the word out. What can we do for you? It sounds like we really can't accomplish much for a guy that
Let's give him Vinny's number.
No, you know, for somebody that doesn't care, what do we do?
Yeah, you know, this was just a follow-up call to kind of show you, you know, tell you where, you know.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it, and I know people will appreciate it who are considering maybe one of his homes. It's good to know. I wish we could do more for you. Dan, any suggestions?
Hey,
what?
Bob, you're going to go after the inspector because on the roof, there was flashing missing, there was no drip edge, there was nothing.
That's correct. The roofing is not.
So the inspector, what did he say?
I am gonna go to the home inspector that I purchased, you know, that I hired to do the inspection for the property, and see if I can get some remediation from him, because he did tell me there were a couple shingles removed or missing from the roof, and I had those repaired, but he did not report any of the other defects. And the roofers that I've had come up and give me quotes spotted defects from the road. I mean, as soon as they got out of their car, they said, well, it's missing that, it's missing that. You know, they were seeing defects in the roof before they even got up on it. And so I'm going to go to the home inspector and see if there's anything I can get there. I really don't know. Their contracts seem to be written.
Oh, they're written.
A lot of everything.
They're written so tight, you can almost never get anything back from those guys.
Yeah, so, you know, I called because I was hoping we could put some pressure on him. I think he's not going to respond to that. You know, he's just kind of a scumbag, and he's going to be that way. And I'm the guy, you know, holding the $45,000 bill. It's kind of frustrating. And I'm also really frustrated at the state and county inspectors that these are egregious things they miss.
Well, you know what? I tell people never, ever, ever depend, ever, on county inspections. Don't ever do it.
Yeah, it was, and you know, the fireplace, it's a gas fireplace. It's not vented outside. I should have spot that. I'm a fireman. I should have noticed that this fireplace was open to the room, not a legal fireplace. The county inspectors say, well, we just kind of missed it, you know. It's just ridiculous. These defects are so egregious that I fully suspect that there was more bribery going on. I've had the electrician admit that. I suspect there was something else going on, but the chances of me ever proving that are pretty minimal.
Well, like I said, if there's something else we can do other than put the word out for this Sid, what's his name?
Malone.
Sid Malone. Sid Malone.
He answered the very first time I called, then every time after that, no answer.
Sid Malone, we got your number, and now you won't talk to us. We can only assume you're a scumbag. I don't know what to say. You know, what else can we say? 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Gail, what's going on? Gail?
Hello.
What's going on, bro? What's happening? What can we do to help you?
I wanted to see if any of your car experts would have any ideas on I have a 2003 Dodge 3500 crew cab or king cab with 4 doors on it, and some reason or another the back doors locked, and you can't get them unlocked with the actuator or the thumb one on your key ring, or you can't pull up the little
what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
It could be the door latch is just seized up back there. It could be a lot of things. You got to check the wiring. Door jamb wiring is typical on those.
It would probably come from the driver's side door, I suppose, because that's where all the...
Well, it's part of it. It also runs through the instrument cluster on that truck, believe it or not, the power door locks.
Oh.
So it's a complicated little system, but yeah, you just got to start at ground zero and work back.
Is there any kind of electronical thing that you can kind of trace it out, or?
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting in, pulling door panels, tracing wires. It's just old-fashioned stuff, yeah.
Now, you know, if it's electrical, we always say, you know, if it's just electrical you want, Lakewood Auto Electrics does a great job, but these guys can do something that...
We work on these all the time.
Kind of thing.
Sure.
Okay.
So, so it's basically hunt and peck, and that's the biggest expense is the hunting on that one. There's no computer you can hook up to that and get that done on an 03, is there?
Well, there's some information, but yeah, it gets right down to powers and grounds.
303-713-TALK. Dina, she held a long time. Dina, what's happening?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good. What's going on? What can we do for you?
Oh, I can't get the title to my car from Wells Fargo Dealer Services.
What do you mean?
Well, I filed bankruptcy in 11.
Yeah.
I paid it off in full back in February this year.
Yeah.
When I called Wells Fargo, they were telling me I still owe $650. So I called the lawyer that I filed the bankruptcy with, and they're saying they won't charge for helping additionally.
So wait a minute. What does this have to do with a bankruptcy, though?
It's a secure debt.
Yeah, you have to pay the whole thing off.
I paid it off in February.
Oh, you did. You paid it in full, but they say you owe $600. So what does the bankruptcy attorney have to do? I don't understand why you contacted your bankruptcy attorney.
Because they're the ones that were supposed to make sure that all that was taken care of and included in the bankruptcy.
No, that's not true. It's not included in the bankruptcy. I don't understand. It's not. It's a secure debt. If you include it in the bankruptcy, well, I guess you could. Yeah, you could theoretically include it in the bankruptcy, and then they can come and get it. You're right. They can. So was it included in the bankruptcy?
It was included in the bankruptcy.
Okay, but that doesn't relieve you from paying for it.
I paid it off the whole.
Then why do you keep saying? Listen, Dina.
Okay.
Was it a Chapter 13? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, that's different. Hold on a sec, all right? Just hold on. Now I understand what you're saying. Approval Reverse Mortgage is a reverse mortgage company I highly recommend. In fact, the only one. If you want a reverse mortgage, you're 62 or older, you want to live off the equity, it may be a good idea. It may not be a good idea, depending on your circumstances, your age, and the amount of equity. I trust Joan Sullivan and her team to tell you the truth. ApprovalReverse.com. 303-771-3528. 771-3528.
Yeah, because now, so she just basically wants.
It sounds like the attorney might. The attorney probably fucked up. Although Wells could fuck up.
Well, they should give our county.
Watch your language, Dan.
Colorado, that's backing traffic up on that stretch all the way past Quebec. We want the forecast. About a 20% chance of isolated afternoon thunderstorms today with a high near 79 tonight. In the overnight
Chapter 13, the payments, if they stayed the same and they would have finished in January,
low of 58.
the bankruptcy
Right now, partly cloudy in the mile
But
high.
their attorney still wouldn't have much to do.
With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-How.
Bell Plumbing and Heating is now Bell Home Solutions because they do it all. Plumbing, heating, cooling, drain cleaning, electrical, remodeling, painting.
What the hell is the name of that tropical
Half
storm?
of the eclipse, thank you. I can see it now. Then I'll see
so it's 92% here in Denver.
6:30.
Yeah, I mean, why am I?
This won't be your last chance to see one either.
So wait.
It won't be?
No, 2024.
There's a way closer place in Wyoming too, and Nebraska. Wait a minute. Am I looking at the right states? Where's Colorado?
Yeah, just north of Cheyenne there.
Wait a minute. This is Colorado. Ogallala is like one of the worst places to be. No, I'm dead serious. It is. It's way.
In fact, you're backwards. You see everything backwards.
No, hold on. Come here, guys. This is Colorado. This is Kansas. There's nowhere in Kansas. Oh, it's Ogallala in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Okay, that it is. Then I see where he is. Ogallala. Okay, now I see. That's right. Now, I'm saying, though, there's a closer place. Isn't this closer than going way over here?
Yeah, it's just north of Cheyenne they'll get it.
Yeah, you can go to Wheatland.
I got to pick.
Stay with your aunt.
How can I overlay this path with like real
with cities?
Can you try to find it?
I got another one because the team that like
try to help me here because I'm going to do this live.
We gotta push up.
We didn't have to worry about the show.
Scotts Bluff, Nevada would be closer.
Scotts Bluff.
I'm sorry, Scotts Bluff, Nebraska.
That's way close. But how are you finding these cities, bro?
I'll send you another one and I can just like.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Don't be the almighty knowing without sharing.
I kind of like you know.
The one on CBS only shows major cities.
All right, everybody in the car.
But didn't you already look up Casper? Casper was too far, right?
That's way north, yeah.
I mean, straight.
So on this link, you
straight oil anywhere, for God's sake. Just straight oil. Come on, man.
Straight oil.
Straight mineral oil. 40 weight. That's all I need. I don't, because I'm breaking into my engine. I can't use anything else. And I can't find it.
These Casper's directly in the center of it.
Straight weight mineral oil. Boom.
Torrington?
Where is it?
Wyoming?
Straight weight
Is it
mineral oil.
Wheatland? We stay with Jeff's pond.
They actually have, the county came in and told her she has to upgrade her bathrooms because of the eclipse. Because they're dead serious. And they're actually putting pressure on her. She owns a movie theater. And they're going in with all these demands to businesses in the area wanting to spruce things up and make them available to the public because all the people
They actually think people are going to come back?
It's not my business. I shut my business down for this. Screw you guys.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Who's going to go and see a movie during the eclipse?
This is on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Got a very small bucket.
303-695-7000 or go online at AmericanFinancing.net.
So now you can, it'll bring all the cities up to Torrington. That's the small city.
Their search engine sucks. Mineral. Okay, well, tell me what this means, guys. What does this number mean? Is this, what weight is this? Aeroshell oil 100 is straight mineral oil blended, high viscosity. This oil does not contain additives. Good. So, but what is that? Is that 100 weight? That seems pretty goddamn thick.
Very thick. Okay, well,
80. They don't have a 40 weight. That seems. Why don't they make a 40?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. How can we help you with your problems, questions, and complaints? Give us a call. So, let's, Dina says she can't get title for her car. All right. She's been paying on it the whole time. Right, Dina? You've been paying on it, and you paid it off, right? And now you should be able to get your title. Bankruptcy has nothing to do with it. You paid off the car. You should get your title. Why are they refusing to give you your title? Because they say you owe more money. So it's not your bankruptcy that's at issue. It's the accounting. They're apparently not, I guess they're not recognizing your accounting. Is it possible you made a mistake? Hello? So she's not there. Okay, bye, Dina. Donna, welcome. What's going on, Donna?
Okay, well, I purchased a car from AutoNation Chrysler Jeep. Chrysler Jeep, and on Colfax, it's Chrysler Jeep West. And my biggest request, I drove up there from Gunnison, which is where I'm calling from, and it's a 4-hour drive. I was sitting there at 9 o'clock when they opened up. It took me. I was there till after 5.
What are you looking for? What are you there for?
I am looking for a vehicle that can be towed behind my motorhome.
A flat tow or two-wheel tow?
All tow. All four wheels on the ground.
Okay, because some use dollies, and you can do almost every car like that. But if you want a 4-wheel tow, there are few cars that you can do that, depending on the transmission. Jeff, it would be the one where they don't turn in neutral.
Right, or 4-wheel drive vehicles where you have a neutral option where you can turn the T-case off.
So there are a list. I know that Good Sam's Club, Good Sam, they had a list of cars that could be towed flat. U-Haul. What are you talking about, U-Haul?
They'll have a list.
Why would they have a list of cars that
liability?
Because they rent.
Do you know any? What is she looking for?
Well, here's the problem. I told them I needed a car that I can tow behind my motorhome. It was my biggest request. If I said it once, I said it 100 times. It has to be towable. After 5 o'clock, I wound up going out the door with a car that I really didn't even like to begin with, but it was the only one they had that was towable, supposedly. Now, this is going back last year because I actually live in Utah. So I drove it back to Utah, and I had told them I need the tow hitch off of my trade-in car. It took me until after Christmas to get this.
So what are you calling about right now? You're calling about your hitch?
No, I'm calling about my car. The fact they sold me a car that was not towable, even though...
Unless you have that in the contract, that is not an issue for sale. I mean...
it's been over a year.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm hoping you have it in the contract.
Oh, I do.
And what does it say?
Okay, well, actually, that part I don't.
Well, that's the part that counts, that it can be towed flat. If that was the only reason you bought the car, they're going to say, look, you bought a car and we sold it to you. We're not taking it back because it can't be towed. I mean, that's really unreasonable, Donna. I mean, they can say, look, it's not our responsibility. How do you argue with them if they say that?
Well, here's the thing. I lost my husband, and I told him that up front, that I'm not used to doing these kinds of things. He usually took care of it. Like I say, I just kept telling him, as long as it's a towable car.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you told him. He's just going to deny it.
Well, that's what he's done.
There must be a way to tow that car. I mean, let's look for a real option for it. Can't you buy a different thing to tow it?
The only thing I can do is buy a whole trailer to drive it up on and tow it that way.
Why can't you get one of those two-wheel towers?
No, you can't do a two-wheel tower because no wheels can be on the ground.
On which car? No, that's not true. There are some cars you can do a two-wheel tow. And now, what kind of car do you have, by the way?
A Jeep Cherokee Latitude. I'd never heard of a Jeep that couldn't be towed, quite frankly.
Well, how do you know it can't be?
Because it says in the book that it can't be. The only way it can be towed is up off of the ground on a trailer.
If it's four-wheel drive, it's probably true.
And the thing of it is, the fact that it's been a year, is I drove it back to Utah, and I kept waiting for them to send me my hitch. I needed that hitch to do anything. And so it took them till January to send me the hitch. I was leaving on a trip. The next day, I took the car in to get the hitch all installed, which they did install it, and then told me it can't be towed. I wound up driving...
Now, listen, I don't hear... the story's not important right now. What's important is you have something you can't use, okay?
Bottom line.
All right, you have something you can't use. So now we have to figure out what to do about it. I don't think you can do anything except sell it and buy another one. This has been over a year, and you're going to go back to the dealer and you expect him to take it back. I mean, that's ludicrous. I can't help you do that, Donna. It's been a year.
Well,
what
I
is
was
the
in
excuse?
Utah. I mean, I couldn't do anything from Utah.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I can't help you. I can't help you. I can't. I just can't. I don't know how I could. How can I help her? Sorry, I can't do it.
You could buy the vehicle from her.
You know, I'm sorry. We're going to call this dealer and say, sorry. Come on. We can't do it.
There might be something you can buy to tow that with two wheels. I'm reading about something.
303-713-TALK. We're looking it up. We are looking it up. It's so sad. It is so sad when we get calls like this. Why do people think, well, I'm in Utah, I couldn't get back? It was a year. It is not reasonable to have a car over a year and expect the dealer to take it back because it can't be towed. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Speaking of RVs, Century RV has RVs, and they probably can recommend cars that can be towed.
They probably sell what you need to tow a car. They do everything RV. New and used RVs. They even have a service department for RVs. They can do trailer hitches. They can do regular service. They have Keystone, Forest River, Dutchman, Heartland, and Cougar, and all others when it comes to used, man. They have so much on there. Fifth wheels, Class A's, Class B's, Class C's, big iron, little fiberglass, and everything in between. 303-453-1111. 303-453-1111. SentryRV.com.
Double check just to make sure I wasn't wrong, but she should be able to ship that.
Tell her to hold on.
If you're just mixing your summer salads and sandwiches with mayonnaise or...
We're getting information.
But if you're spinning...
Unless it's four-wheel drive, I don't know.
You mean no, this is a four-wheel drive. If it's all-wheel drive, as long as
you have all-wheel drive, can't. But four-wheel drive, you can shift into the transfer case to the neutral.
Right. If they have a high-low option, even if it's all-wheel drive, there's going to be a neutral because you have to go through a neutral gate in order to get to that low gear.
Yes.
Oh. Do you have a sinking concrete problem?
I don't know.
Denver and the Front Range are notorious for settling concrete. I'm lying.
You just get a lot of information from AAA.
I always like to check myself before I step on my phone.
Yeah,
well,
because some of the Jeeps, I mean, they're...
No scary chemicals.
Some of the shit that Jeeps
From Castle Rock to Longmont.
Mopar stands for, man. Moments of power are rare.
It looks like they can be towed, though.
I think she's looking at regular towing, where a tow truck picks it up with a slingback. I think that's probably what she's looking at, not as far as being able to tow behind a motorhome.
She needs to get to a U-Haul or someplace in the store.
I'm sure somebody will probably just go in there, hey lady.
Yeah.
U-Haul will let her know in a minute, man.
Yeah.
But she's got her booklet that says, you know.
Well, that's fine, but she's not seeing it. Because online it says you can.
And not only that, I've seen a lot of Jeeps towed behind motorhomes. Maybe not a Latitude, but...
Everything's on sale.
Well, Latitude is just a version of a Cherokee.
Yes.
But the Runner's World's top-rated treadmills for over 25
And it is an automatic. It's not a...
No, there's a process they're talking about, shifting it, stepping on the brake, releasing the brake.
Well, that's the typical shifting in and out of four-load. You got to have a neutral in your vehicle, running foot on the brake, doing less than 3 miles an hour, blah, 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 blah.
You have an elbow that's stored in
really looks like she can.
Think to do shoulders, back.
But she wants a replay.
Well, no, if she can get it towed.
Put off your surgery indefinitely, relieve it for sure, under no obligation and no pressure. There will be free informational seminars about stem cell therapy.
They're all over.
Yeah, when you're up on the flat, you got to put it in park.
No.
It's just flat tow.
But as long as there's a high-low option on that transfer case, there's
The only issue I read, anything negative, is some people said there's a little wobble.
You will get relief.
And then there's a kit to
Stem Cell
you can buy this.
putting on these seminars.
Fix that wobble.
Yeah, exactly.
580-CELL. That's 720-580.
You can turn off the eco mode on the Malibu.
Yeah.
The startup is not with an electrical convey.
Yeah, there's a little button on there.
Next seminar, 720-580.
It's like a little A with a circle around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a steering system kit. So.
The zebra doesn't spot the stealthy lion and his big white teeth. By just monitoring your credit, you can miss a hidden threat.
But you went back to the dealership. I can't believe the dealership couldn't go over.
Well, okay, how do you turn it off? Because everything I'm reading says you can't turn it off.
What, the Eco Start?
Yeah.
There's a little button on some of them. The one I saw in the Cruise was on the center console.
Aircraft Atlas.
It's a little A with a half circle.
What's that?
One of our US-based specialists.
Any help would be great. Nope, you can't turn it off with any button. No
The
idea
thing is
why.
with the button is it resets itself every time it starts.
It's for my little airplane.
So you got to
I
continually
found
shut
for
it
it
off.
late.
Oh, did you?
Mine,
Okay.
well, mine was confused. It said grade 80. But grade 80 is an SAE 40.
The only way to work
So
around it is going
I don't
into
understand why
manual
they
mode
call it
and
grade
manually
80.
shift it.
But I found it. It's aerosol. It's aviation oil. See, my engine was rebuilt. I did my rebuild in 2000. But I only have 100 hours, so it's still not broken in, even though I only have 100 hours, right? I should still keep that brake in oil, right? I mean, time doesn't break it in, running does.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to keep the mineral oil. It's not going to do any harm, but because once you start doing those additives, those rings won't see. So I'm going to use a straight weight because it ran perfectly. And I'm just, but it's old oil. I got to get that out of there. It's that oil is 3 years old, so it's not terrible. It got me to the airport, but now I'm doing the annual, so I'm draining all the fluids.
Yeah, because if nothing else, it's absorbing moisture.
Exactly.
From the water you drink and consume. If you don't know,
and I got to drain it out.
Water in your house.
Who's saying that you can do that with the Malibu?
Call the source.
I looked up on the Cruise and looked on a bunch of them. They got a button you can just disable.
It's right on the touchscreen display.
See, the touchscreen display, the Cruise has it in the center console, right by the shifter.
Get your peace of mind back. Go to advancedtaxsolutions.com.
Maybe it's just the 17 that does? I don't know.
Maybe they did that in 17, yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Donna, we're looking online, and we looked at this car that you bought. Jeff, what do you think?
It looks like she should be able to shift that transfer case into a neutral position. Do you have a high-low option on the four-wheel drive?
I don't know. I really don't.
I can't find anywhere where this vehicle was made without a high-low option on there, which means that you do have a neutral position inside that transfer case. There will be some sort of button, or you might have to, some of them actually had a hole in the dash where you had to depress it with a pin or whatnot, but you can put that transfer case into a neutral condition, then you can safely pull it with all four wheels on the ground. I think most likely what you're reading inside your owner's manual that says not to tow it that way is most likely from a recovery standpoint, where a tow truck comes to pick it up and they lift up just two wheels or whatever the case may be there, that you have to get this transfer case into neutral before you can start.
And most people don't shift it to neutral. So, but if you want to, where would she take, are you where you can take a photo of it? With your phone?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Where do you want her to take a photo of?
Take the four-wheel drive switch. There's going to be a four-wheel drive switch on there someplace, and most likely I can tell her from there.
And would there be any shift, literally shift on the...
Most of them now are going to be a knob or a switch.
What year is this?
It's a 2016.
Okay. Yeah. Take a picture of the dash and the switch. Get it right back to us. We'll get you off and then get you back on here when we have something. 303-713-TALK. Okay? Judy, welcome to the show. What's happening, Judy?
Actually, my friend's father listens to you, and we took the Toyota RAV4 to Pro Auto Care, and they did an amazing job.
Good.
We still didn't pass the emissions almost. We test like 19 times. Well, I ended up getting a waiver for that. Okay, so then like a month later, after doing all that, I got in a car accident, and the driver stopped to yell at me and tell me it was my fault, which it wasn't. And I walked over to his car, looked at his license plate, and then he said he was pulling out a Coltex to get over so we could get our insurance, and he took off. But I got the license plate, and so I reported it, but we're going on almost 2 months, and they supposedly put a warrant out for him. But what I mean, I'm a single.
I don't know why don't they just run the plate and go after him? I mean, you have a description of the person, you have the make and model as well?
Yes.
And you have the license plate. Mark, don't we have people that can run that plate?
Well, yeah, but she said there was a warrant out for the guy, so I'm sure they know who it is, and they put a warrant out. They got to find him.
Would they put a warrant on his
car?
Like when he's pulled over? You mean a bench warrant? Like
she
just said there's a warrant out for him.
In-town warrant on the car, and I just,
Oh, well, if he's not, let's say, if it was in Denver and he doesn't live in Denver, that's not going to help if it's only on that license plate.
So, okay, was it a Colorado plate?
Yes.
Okay, and you have the number. Can't we get that plate run? I mean, I thought we could. You don't have to have a... Can't we get plates run?
No.
Are you sure? I think we can.
We can run VINs, but I don't know if we can run plates, Tom.
Let's put it this way. If you get us the plate, we'll figure it out. Get us the plate. I mean, I'm thinking it can't be that hard. Is it against the law to run a plate?
Is
well,
it?
I looked it up too. And
Mark, is it against the law?
We don't have a way of running a plate.
Is it against the law? Well, no, I'm not saying we, but can't we ask a police officer to run it?
Well, I think she can when she filled out the criminal complaint. I mean, did they tell you who the guy is? Do they know
Tell
his
them
name?
you want to do a civil action. Can't you get the name?
They didn't give me the name. They just said that they were gonna give me more information once they impounded his car. But we're going on 2 months now, and that was my vehicle for school and my kids and everything. So I mean, I'm kind of in a.
Was the vehicle totaled? I didn't hear that part. You can't drive it anymore?
I don't. I mean, so it's my driver's side, and I can't drive it right now because
the sad part is
rubbing on something. I think.
If the guy took off, I mean, the chances of him having insurance or being able to even do anything.
Do you have you don't have any underinsured or uninsured? Oh, it wouldn't help you with a collision, would it?
Liability.
You don't have any collision.
No, I just had the regular liability, and they said that basically they can't do nothing for me.
Give us the number, okay? Hold on. Take her name and number and get the license plate number. And we'll see what we can do with law enforcement, okay? And tell us where the accident was. If you have an accident report, send it. That would be great.
Did you have uninsured motorists?
No, she didn't.
No.
Here's the thing. Even uninsured motorist doesn't do property damage unless you have uninsured motorist property damage. Most people, when they get uninsured motorists, only carry the uninsured motorist for the pain and suffering, not for the property damage. And they don't even carry it for medical. You have to have med pay. So the coverages you should have are uninsured, underinsured coverage, underinsured, uninsured property damage, and med pay. Those are the additional coverages you should have.
Depending on what you have, of course.
Exactly. Yes.
Hey, Tom, Daphne made a good point on IM to me. What about using the Blinker app? Can't you take a picture of the license plate and go that way?
That just breaks down what kind of car it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now the Blinker app is your own information that goes in there to sell that car. And it doesn't give personal information.
No, that's right, but what it will do, it takes that license plate, it runs it against DMV, it'll break down exactly what that vehicle is. 2008 with this, and this. It'll tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah. I think a lot of that information is public on DMV, but maybe not name and address, because otherwise you'd have weirdos going after women with with their license plate number to find out where they live.
It's next to impossible. I mean, we've got a few people that, possibly.
Yeah. So let's just see if we can get law enforcement to do it. Karen, welcome. What's happening, Karen?
I have a question for the car guy.
Yeah.
So you guys have talked a lot about synthetic oil and the less of a need to change it so often because it's amazing.
Yes, that's true.
I have a 1972 Super Beetle. Can I use synthetic in it?
Well, what have you been using?
Just conventional 530.
There are different schools of thought on using synthetic later in a car's life, and not everyone agrees. What do you think?
I don't think it makes a difference what you started with.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people say
synthetic.
A lot of people say if you have a high mileage car and you upgrade to synthetic, it's going to ruin all the buildup and the compression.
I think she might see some leaks. I don't think it would do any damage.
In a Volkswagen?
That'll leak.
You gotta be
good point. Good point.
She's laughing because she knows. So, you know what? I wouldn't use it in a
That's how you do an oil change in a Beetle. You just wait for it to leak out.
Karen, how is that car running?
Amazing.
Really? What model did you say?
Super Beetle, 72.
I love that. Wow. So,
and it does, but you talked a lot about the synthetic oil, so I was just curious.
Would you do it if you had, how many miles on it?
92.
Would you do it with 92,000 miles on a VW Super Beetle 72?
I just think it's better protection.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, would you?
Really?
Yeah.
You would? Okay, these guys would. So I would go with the experts. Yep. Let's talk to Louise. Louise, what's happening?
Oh, hi, Tom. Last evening I received a telephone call, and I am alert to the fact that you're not supposed to say yes when they ask, is this Louise? This gentleman,
well,
I can't remember.
In some cases, if they say, is this Louise or is this so-and-so, and you say yes, in some cases, they've been known to use that yes and edit it when they say, are you sure you want to purchase this item? And then you put in, and then it says yes. So.
Oh, but just answering the phone, and just because I was, it wasn't unexpected that a gentleman would call and ask a question because I had a business deal going in another state. But he sounded just normal, and I was thinking about the other situation in the other state.
Well, here's what you do no matter what, because if you ever want to get around that scam, because and yet you don't know if it's a legit call or not. If someone says, is this Louise, you can say, this is Louise. You don't have to say yes or no. This is Louise. And then when you say this is Louise, they can't edit that to say yes or no to a question.
But they could be doing something completely different. They might just be seeing if she is, then 3 weeks from now call back and tell her, Louise, your grandson's locked up.
That's exactly right.
But did I do something wrong? Can I get out of something? Have they tracked
First of all, you can't get out of something you don't even know you're in.
Yeah, that's right. But
So you just keep a lookout.
Okay.
If something shows up and they say you bought it, or if something happens like that, or if someone calls back in a few weeks and say, Louise, your grandson has been in a terrible accident.
I have no
well, whatever. So all I'm saying is you have to be on the lookout. But Louise,
Yes,
I don't think you did any great harm to yourself.
Okay.
No, I
That's
don't.
what I wanted to know, because I had heard about these schemes on your program, and I have a sign here that says, don't answer yes to certain.
Or don't answer no. I mean, you should never, they do edit what you say, but there are ways around that. So, you know, anyway, so you're right about that. There are scammers. It's best just not to talk to people on the phone. If you don't recognize the name or number, there is nothing on the phone you need to know. Nothing. And that's the way I would handle it.
This report is brought to you by Way to Go.
I-25 slow downtown and coming out of the tech center as well. I-25.
I had a lady call who said auto shops that use the Mitchell program can find the owner on the plate, not just the VIN.
No.
She was wrong?
Yep.
Okay.
We can look up a license plate and get the VIN and everything, yeah.
You can't get the owner information. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's where she was.
That's how everybody reports to Carfax.
Yeah.
270s, one on the approach to Vasquez. The weather forecast, about a 20% chance of isolated today and a high near 79. Right now, partly cloudy and 67.
They keep contacting me, won't be like up the.
Did you send me the other?
The only one that benefits that is Carfax.
You sent me the other cat.
Yeah, I send you the other
My customer wants you to know. They want to know packages.
Let's go find a carpool, vanpool, bike, rail, or bus route. Let's go.
Still doesn't have a lot of the little cities in there.
Not the little cities, but you can expand it. Like Torrington is, you can
expand it, meaning what? Oh, when you expand it, it shows more?
Yeah, it shows more cities.
Oh, thank you. Good. Excellent. All right.
Like Torrington is like one of the good size.
Now, where's that dot in there? Who put that dot in there? North Platte. Oh, did you? Or no?
No, I didn't put a dot in there.
See, I don't know this Ogallala. Yeah, look, it's right in this. Is that dark pink one? The really dark?
That's 100%.
Is that the natural cycle of eyelash growth generates.
Okay, then I'm going straight north. Jesus, why would I go? Let's just see what.
Well, I think Torrington is a city that's probably the closest straight north. It's just north of
Torrington. One of the most promising franchises in this decade.
And you don't even got a land, do you?
Entrepreneur Magazine ranks them in
I could go up.
You just go up there, fly around a little bit in the dark.
North Platte's cool. How far is North Platte?
When's the next one?
2024.
In Texas, you said?
2024. So this is no big deal. What's the one that comes like once every 120 years?
So there's this
No, Denver to North Platte is farther.
Oh.
I guess Ogallala is not that far. Ogallala is the closest.
Give me a license plate.
I think they picked
Do
the
you know
closest.
The Consumers Real Estate Show, Saturday morning.
Just think about plate Sherlock. Anybody know their license plate number? I don't.
It's just gonna tell you what kind of car it is.
Or they're gonna. Yeah, Ogallala
Is that not better than?
is definitely.
No, she needs the guy's name.
Well, she's got a picture of the car with the plate, if I understood it.
Ogallala is 212 miles.
She just wants to figure out who the guy is.
Can't you call the police?
Well,
Can you imagine, Tom put it perfectly, so you're single and every hot woman you see, you just write down her plate and you know who she is and where she is. Of course not.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Or,
They thought of that.
you know how many chicks would be calling me every day at this point?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that.
Bless.
All right.
Suzanne would be going crazy by this time.
And don't get plate finders.
I'd have to get a tech tag.
Plate finder's a game.
Ogallala is 212. I was wrong. It's 212 miles. So then, North Platte.
Guys don't really talk about antiperspirant. Despite that, 91% of Dove Men Plus Care users recommend it. Here's what they said.
You know what you could do? Is log into a local news station.
North Platte
down
is
in Ogallala
264. So North Platte is
and watch
farther.
their newscast.
But how far is that place from? Why don't you look up Denver to where's that other one? North.
Dove Men Plus Care.
Torrington?
Yeah.
Tough on sweat, not on skin.
Oh, I can, I guess too. Okay, Torrington. It's called Torrington. And how far north is it?
Oh, just north. It's north of Cheyenne.
Torrington, Wyoming. Okay, I got it.
Stores combined.
We're
not just about numbers.
Oh, 182 miles. So that's 40 miles closer.
Tom, are you there? Yes. Is it dark? Yes. I'll see you soon.
I just said you fly around here.
I can't quite. I don't understand what radio has to do with
But you know,
going to
put
the
it in
eclipse.
a WKRP thing and have somebody with a box of glow sticks and just start dumping those things out of the helicopter.
My favorite is when they throw turkeys
What
out.
coverage
That's
is
what I'm
Cheyenne?
getting.
What coverage is Cheyenne?
Cheyenne?
This show was great.
It was the best.
Was the
There's
one Johnny
turkeys
was
just exploding on the street. On the street.
Johnny's freaking out because the phone police are coming to get him.
He does the DUI test.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal for used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, and a selection not only of cars, trucks, and
Vans, but also a selection of financing. All of the prices are clearly marked on those cars so you can shop around. They're asking you to shop. We'll put them on the list. And then you find not only a variety in colors, makes, models, and price ranges, you'll find a variety in financing as well. Go to Rocky's Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, 63rd and Federal, 303-426-4646. That's Rocky's, 63rd and Federal. Margaret, what's happening with you? What's going on? Margaret, what's going on?
Yeah, I just want to tell you, Mr. John Fuller did a wonderful job.
What did he do for you? He's a personal injury attorney. He's one of our experts.
I was in a car accident.
Yes, and what happened?
Well, he got me something out of it. He did an excellent job.
She called before. What else has she called about, though?
No,
She's a good caller, a
Yeah.
listener.
I just told you about it. I called about John Fuller. He did an outstanding job.
I am
for
so
me.
happy. Were you injured in this car accident?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you were happy with the settlement, with the communication. John Fuller has been with me for years. His website's personalinjuryco.com. 303-597-4500. And he is really, really good. Mark and Suzanne have used him as well, and people love him. They really do. And what I really like, he's down to earth. You talk to him. You don't talk to legal assistants. He calls you. He keeps you personally involved in the case, and he's just on top of it. 303-597-4500. Yes, Suzanne.
Tom, I have someone who's going to run the plate for us over the weekend for the hit and run.
Okay.
So we should have some answers for her next week.
Good. Okay, that's good. Really good. 303-713-TALK, and we're done with that. We're done with that. And Dan's turn. We have lines open at 303-713-TALK. Dan, what's going on?
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
I have a 2008 Nissan Titan.
and I want to buy a camper. It weighs 5,500 pounds. Can I beef up the suspension enough?
Guys,
to haul that?
What do you think? Now, are you talking about camper? What kind? This is not a pickup truck, right?
It is a pickup.
Oh, I thought you meant a camper back, right? Is it a camper back, or are you looking to pull something?
No. I want to put a camper on my truck.
Yeah, those are fine. Those are not that heavy. Does he have to beef up anything, guys?
Well, he can definitely do things to improve his ride. With the airbag suspension that they have now is one of the things you'll probably enjoy the most, and get the compressor kit that goes with it. Total investment, you're probably looking at about $800. Now, that's not so that you can overload the truck, but it's going to get your ride height back when you actually put that camper on the truck.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So then what does that make the payload?
It does not change your payload. It's just going to regain your ride height.
Does anything change the payload?
He could put on some stiffer springs, but you still have to pay attention to that, to what that rear axle is capable of withstanding. You still want to stay inside the manufacturer's guidelines of what the weight that truck's supposed to go.
Does the camper itself go over the manufacturer's recommendations?
He should be okay inside that.
Yeah, I would think it does.
You should be pretty close, but I think you're probably all right.
With the Tacoma, is it?
No, he said a
Titan. Titan, I'm sorry.
Titan, and those are real nice trucks. But I think one of the biggest things you can do as far as being able to drive that truck is regain the ride height with that airbag suspension.
Okay.
And he's thinking, though, that you can check it, but the manufacturer specs might accommodate the camper. All you're doing is improving the ride. But you want to check that, too. Because
you still need to stop it, too.
Yeah.
That's true. If you get too much weight, your brakes are overloaded, everything's overloaded.
Yeah, so you got to really make sure you don't go overweight with the actual camper itself. I don't know what they can carry normally. Aren't they 1500s, or are they 1 tons?
That's a half ton, but the payload may be about 4,000, 5,000.
Oh, I get it. So that's different, right? So the tonnage means what?
It's just a rating for...
Okay.
Yeah, it's
not actually what they can carry. All right, we have more coming up. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Stick around, and we have a lot to talk about on the Troubleshooter Show.
Damn, screw this. How do you figure? Bitcoin. Remember he was bitching about it like a month ago? I was looking into it when it fell, and he's like, oh, no, it'll never come back up.
I never said that.
Like 30% up.
Well, Ross was talking to somebody the other day. He's got new Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah, they're getting everywhere. He doesn't believe it.
I think it's going to end up...
They have Bitcoin ATMs, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. It's only a one-way transaction right now, though. You can only purchase through there.
You can't put it.
Right. It's not secure enough.
It's up so much, it's unbelievable.
Cheyenne, 98%.
Cheyenne is 98? That would be good enough for me.
It's up $1,500 in less than 25 days.
I'm serious. I'm thinking that I ought to go to Cheyenne
to do a live report
and just go up and come back. I go up and come back.
We'll go fly around here and then all of a sudden go,
yeah.
Okay. We're out of that. We'll just do it right in here. Just turn the lights off.
And go wop, 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 wop.
You can make the KOA newscopter sound in the back.
I don't think he's...
Tom, are you up? Yes.
Here comes the eclipse. Do we see?
You're right. That's why I'm going to wait a whole lot. Keeps it under 2,000.
I mean, I think
it would be kind of, if you've never seen one in your life.
And I have only seen it very partially.
This is I've never seen an eclipse. Have you? I've never seen one, Mark.
Well, you've been around so long, I figured you've seen a few.
When was the last one? Seriously, when was the last one?
I remember the next one's in 10 years. I remember the next one's in how many years?
No, 2024.
It's in whatever that is, 8 years.
I remember in grammar school making those shadow boxes so we could watch an eclipse.
Yeah, I saw one in school.
They're saying this has something to do with
they made it in a shoebox.
They say this has something to do with the level of totality we're going to be able to see. That's the big deal.
What do you mean level of totality?
How you get the complete totality of the eclipse.
If you go to these certain places.
Right. Well, we're like 92% or something like that here.
92.
Yeah. But I mean, literally, I remember in grammar school making those shadow boxes and going out and watching this eclipse.
Well, weren't you supposed to look at it here because they didn't want you looking at the sun?
Or
if you have a welder's helmet, you could look at it through your
welder's helmet. As long as it's grade 14 or better.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Really?
Is there ever a time where the sun gets in between us and the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, tell me what that is. Yeah, it's really warm that way.
No, it does. That's a lunar eclipse.
Yes, the sun doesn't keep falling to move the Earth.
It only happens once every ice age.
Once every 17 billion years.
Oh, I said, it's when we fall off our axis. We lost the moon.
That's how you know that the Earth is not flat, because the cats would have knocked everything off so far.
What's that one where Bruce Willis has to land on the meteor and blow it up before it hits
yeah, that's
I can't separate all those movies. Have to
when they got all these
collision course or something.
No, they got all these guys from the prison and some.
All the experts.
Collision expert. Yeah.
From the oil field, they're using the oil field.
The Roughnecks.
Yeah, and they drill down there. What was that?
I think we have a better chance of going out that way than almost anything. Something hitting us.
Yeah.
Whatever hit. What's that place in New Mexico that's got that big crater? They said the whole thing's like the size of a Volkswagen caused that hole. You guys never seen that thing?
I've seen that flown over.
It's freaking ginormous. They say a Volkswagen-sized thing caused it. Imagine what a minivan.
They had Volkswagens back then? It was a Super Beetle.
I know such thing as a Super Beetle.
That's just
what... You know how mispronounced that is. Beast War.
What year was Herbie? Let's see your...
That's all they do is like beat walk.
No, what year was Herbie? The movie and the year of the vehicle, I would say.
Was it? Okay.
69.
Really? Was it 69?
Actually had a sheriff, my brother.
Yeah.
Herbie the Love Bug.
I still have my prescription.
K-How.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me.
Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, here to help you solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints, make your life a little interesting and a little easier. When you call here, we'll help you any way we can. 303-713-TALK. Okay. Taylor Swift trial continues. Taylor Swift testified. It was a definite grab, a very long grab.
I believe her.
I felt him grab onto my bare ass cheek. The singer testified he would not let go. I attempted to move away from him. He stayed latched on to my bare ass cheek as I lurched away from him quite quickly. You know, that photograph shows her leaning away from this guy with his hand
and she looks uncomfortable.
Directly behind her on her butt, which you wouldn't want even if it wasn't upper her skirt, even if it was on her butt itself, that it was inappropriate. So I don't know what's going to go on here, but if you look at the photo, it definitely looks.
I still don't get. She's asking for $1.
Look at that.
What do you make of that?
She just wants to make a point that it happened.
Does he get in any legal trouble after this?
No, because listen. Here's the problem. He sued her. He didn't...
Yeah, she countered.
And she countered. The only reason she just wanted to prove it did happen because he's claiming she made it up.
She should have taken
and got him fired. But what damages would she really be able to show? That's the point. I don't know if she'd have damages. So...
I don't know. If she was a little upset that night, I mean, that concert probably brought in, my God, who knows, $15 million
Now listen to this. Swift was more serious when asked the reaction to Mueller being fired. I'm being blamed for the unfortunate events of his life that are a product of his decisions, not mine. Very intelligent. Listen to this. Do you think Mr. Mueller got what he deserved? That's what his attorney, Mueller's attorney, asked. I don't feel anything about Mr. Mueller. I don't know him. I think what he did was despicable and horrifying and shocking.
Smart.
Mueller, his hair white compared to his image in the photo, stared at the table. Mueller testified Wednesday that the photo taken before the concert was weird and awkward, but he insisted that he touched Swift in the ribs,
not in the rear. Well, look at the photograph. There's no one with ribs down there. Do we have ass ribs? I mean, because it sounds like he was touching ass ribs. He said ribs? His hand is clearly, his arm is extended behind her butt. My hand, he says, was at rib cage level. Do you see the photo, guys? Is that rib cage level? I mean, why would you lie if you have a photograph in front of them? Is that rib cage? Look, look.
Not even close.
It's not even close to rib. So he actually said that. I mean, this guy is an idiot for saying that. He said at rib cage level.
Tom, I wonder why criminal charges weren't pressed.
She didn't want to. She didn't do it.
Doesn't make any sense.
Her mom told her, don't make this about you and your whole life will be defined, but don't, you know.
That's right.
She said she didn't want the incident to define her life.
And that's what her mom said that night.
Mueller sued Swift and others on the team, claiming they cost him his job, and he wants up to $3 million in injuries. She countersued alleging sexual assault and is asking for a symbolic $1 judgment. Now, I got to tell you,
when she wins, does he literally take $1 out of his wallet right there? How does that work? I realize it's symbolic, but she must actually get it, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, she does. And I got to tell you, the case is being tried in federal court, and it says, under the law allowing the proceeding when the parties live in separate states, because that's why it's a federal jurisdiction, and dispute involves damages higher than $75,000. That's why it's in federal court. So here's the deal. Couldn't he be assessed for court costs, attorney's fees? I mean, think about this. She's only asking for $1, so she's paying for this attorney out of her pocket.
Yeah, I don't get that part.
Man. Anyway, this one is a terrible problem to have, Keith. Keith, I'd hate to have this problem. You got to evict a roommate?
Yeah, I've got a roommate who is just not working out.
Here's what I need to know. Who owns the lease?
It's in my name.
Well, then that's going to be easier on you. First,
so can I just take their stuff and throw them out?
No. Did you accept rent from them?
Yes.
Then you can't just do that. Well, you can, but you know, you risk them suing you for damages and all that, and improper eviction. You need to give them a 3-day notice.
Even without a lease?
Yeah. You have a verbal month to month. Were you accepting monthly payments or weekly?
Monthly.
Then you made it it's a verbal month to month. On a verbal month to month, you have to give 10 days notice. So here's what you have to do.
Okay.
You have to give 10 days notice written that you want to end the verbal month to month lease.
Okay.
In 10 days, when they don't leave, then what you do is serve a 3-day notice to leave, saying that they refused the request to end the lease. And then if they don't leave in 3 days, you have to go get an eviction proceeding, a hearing, and then you serve them with that. Not you, but someone unrelated to you serves them. So that's first the 3-day notice, which is plastered on your door or on their bedroom door, somewhere they're going to see it. If they don't leave in 3 days, then you go and get an eviction. You file an eviction lawsuit, and basically they get served that. And then the eviction is set for a week or two in the future. And then during that time, they can live there. And then you go to the eviction hearing, and then the judge will either order an eviction or say, you can't evict them.
And then you still have to wait for one more thing, which is the sheriff's ability to show up and evict.
Once you get an order for eviction, you can either hire someone to stand by, or you get the sheriff's department to stand by.
Okay.
Oh, actually not. Do you need a civil assist?
I think you have to have the sheriff.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You have to have the sheriff. You have to hire somebody to move his stuff, though, or you can move it. I think you can move it.
Okay.
Do you think it's going to be that difficult getting him out, or her?
Well, I was hoping that I could just kick him out and they would not choose to fight it.
Why? Well, they may not. If you ask, you say you're leaving in 10 days. Under Colorado law, you have a verbal month-to-month. I have to give you 10 days' notice.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to hire an attorney to go after you.
Now, tell me, when was the last time they paid?
In the beginning of August.
Okay. So yeah, you can't just
late on rent. They've been. I have a lease that says that I can't have pets, and they had a pet in the apartment while I was gone, and now they're slobs. They're
How many are there?
Just one, but she's got a boyfriend that comes over, and they're not really taking care of the place, and they're not really being respectful of the lease, and so I just want them out before I end up with damages that I can't.
I see. Very, very responsible. You should do it right away. Right away. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Yes.
He's just such an instigator over here. I'm not even going to say what Dan's saying.
Robert wants to talk about an 08 diesel. Robert?
Yeah, I got an 08 diesel 2500, and I need a new diesel particulate filter is what the mechanic told me. $3,000. He also said there's another option to clean it, put it in a solution, bake it in a kiln, $800. What's the deal with these particulate filters? Sounds like these diesels just choke themselves out.
Wow.
I don't understand. It's got a 2-year-old turbo that I was able to put in because I bought an extended warranty. But, yeah, I don't understand all this money I'm putting into the truck. It's a good work truck, but I'm just wondering what's with the DPF? And is that solution, is that technique, does it work if I go with a cheaper option?
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. What do they do in the kiln?
Well, he says that it's not able to regenerate, burn itself off, and that's why it's clogged. And he says that they now have a technique where they put it in a solution and then bake it in a kiln, and that's what cleans it. So they do it manually is what I'm getting from it. But $800 or $3,000, I don't know.
I've definitely heard of people doing it with moderate success. Just like
what would be terrible is spending it and then having to do it again.
Well, I would get a guarantee that it's going to work before you actually spend that money. So if they go through that process and you end up with the same problem you had going into it, then you can go ahead and just apply that to actually replacing the filter. Is this truck chipped?
Was it tipped?
Chipped.
Has it got program on it?
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Okay, because we see a lot of that. Well, a lot of these chips are actually, because a lot of kids like to puff. They like to see all that black smoke, and that's going right through that particulate filter. It's going through those cats, and it's burning them up on a regular basis. But going through regen is what's supposed to actually clean those things up. And generally with the regen, you have to actually drive it for about 40 miles or 20 minutes at 40 miles an hour in order to get that process to completely go through. So you need to make sure you're putting some long stretches on this truck from time to time.
Yeah, and he said that no longer is an option. He said that the diesel particulate filter won't regen itself
Well,
anymore.
if it's already bad, you're correct. He's correct. It's not going to be able to fix itself up at that point. The other thing is, too, are you allowing this thing to cool properly when you come to a stop? Because that's going to, when you fire back up all of that stuff that's been cooking inside there after you've shut down, now you're forcing that through that motor and through that system.
So you're saying look for a guarantee if I go that cheaper option.
If you're going to go with that kiln, I would make sure that you have it in writing that, okay, I understand this is a newer procedure. If this does not actually fix the problem, I want to be able to take this money and apply it toward actually putting the new particulate filter on there, and that way you don't get hurt in the process.
Yeah, and those are pricey anyway, right? Those parts, $2,500.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Yeah, there's a lot of technology that's going into these things.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, man. I hope everything works out. I don't know. That kiln sounds like what, it burns off the stuff?
Yeah.
Is that a ceramic filter? I mean,
it's a ceramic mesh in there. Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's doing that. It's going to turn everything to ash. I don't see why that would not work. Because it's going to warm up that ceramic to everything turns to ash, and you shake it off.
Well, the hard part is just knowing you got it all, because there's no way to see in it. It's contained inside the...
They probably blow it out when they're done.
Exactly.
And if you heat it that much, how can you not get it? I mean, the one good thing about the ceramic, it will all heat up the same. So
could it be cracked inside, though, that you don't see, that would make it so it's not functional afterwards?
Well, the heat won't crack it. That's why you have... Ceramics are fortified.
No. I'm saying if there was another problem with it, though.
I don't know.
If it was cracked, it wouldn't plug up.
There would be no reason.
Having it's restricted.
I don't think there would be a reason for it to be plugged, just for the heck of it. What's going on with an update on Corvette City? What was the original problem, John?
Well, thank you for taking my call, Tom. 3 weeks ago, I called and complained about Corvette City when I took my car in mid-March.
I kind of remember. Keep going. What?
He forgot the.
I remember. Hold on. You took it there for a bunch of stuff, and he just sat on it and did nothing for a very long time.
Nope, he did the roof.
The list.
Yeah.
He did the soft top, and he actually forgot the list or lost it.
Right.
And that's.
And then he said then he said, "Hey, let me make it up to you."
He did. And I just wanted to call and tell you that I just picked up the car this morning. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. I recommend them to anybody.
I'm really happy that worked out.
Yep. It needed a new radiator core and a heater core. They were both shot. He paid for all of that, put them in and everything, and no cost to me. It's just like he said. So
that's incredible.
You know what? Well, I'm glad we had a hand in it. That's great.
Yeah. So I just want to put the word out, that he's honorable and trustworthy, and he does great work. So
that's pretty good. Thank you very much for that happy ending. We appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's talk about good stuff like Ideal Home Loans. For your next Ideal Home Loan, if you're looking for a loan on a home, a condo, a piece of real estate, or you want to refinance, go to Ideal Home Loans Direct Mortgage Lenders. They have programs to help you, and they have programs that will put you in a better position, or they won't do it. So they take a look at your situation and they say, look, we're going to get you a lower payment, a lower rate, we're going to get you a better loan, and then you decide what you want to do. They can write you for any term you want. It doesn't have to be 20, 15, or 30. They can also do credit optimization that gets you better than approved. Better than approved. That's right. By just simply moving a few things around on your credit legally, ethically, and quickly, they can get you better pricing. And then they have the interest rate guarantee. Over the next 2 years, if rates go down even 0.75%, they will refinance you free of all lender fees. Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com. And I told you about real estate. Can't do it without mentioning who? Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. A Lifetime Achievement Award from RE/MAX. Only a few people get that. He will never hold you to a long-term contract because he knows you'll be pleased with him, and he doesn't have to. But if you ever want out, you can get out. 303-920-1622. He has stats that show he sells for more money and quicker than any other broker. 303 or than the average for sure. 303-920-1622.
There's a new 24/7 Bronco station that...
So Northwest, I think Cheyenne is so close to 9. I mean,
Cheyenne's what, 100 miles away?
Huh?
Cheyenne, 100 miles away?
Yeah, it's nothing. Denver to Cheyenne would be a fun flight.
Now with 2 locations, grand opening underway in the DTC landmark OMUSI.
98%.
This report.
It's only 100 miles.
There's a few spots on the highway drive you're going to have to slow down for. Eastbound I-70 on the approach to the I-25 interchange. Watch out for delays all the way to about Lowell at this time. Westbound I-70 slowing that.
So you guys taking off to go see it?
Back up to the I-270 interchange. I-270 stopping on the...
It's going to happen whether I'm there or not.
Exactly. Downtown, westbound I-25.
When is it? A week from Monday?
Especially starting at Alameda. Doesn't let up until you get well north of Spear. The one that we're going to have. Well, we're going to have...
you got our granite in about 20 seconds.
Bay with a high near 79. Right now, partly cloudy and 67.
I say they said Casper, everything's sold out. Ben sold out Casper for like a year.
Some of these hotels are going for almost $1,500 a night.
See, why would someone do that?
Just the traffic and everything's going to be up and around there. Just
you're right. It is going to be bad, isn't it? That's right.
Yeah, if I sell door-to-door burritos now, I'm cooking my ass.
Let's talk about getting your kitchen done the right way with Art of Granite.
Artofgranite.net. I love Mitch Floria and the way he does business. Art of Granite in a beautiful showroom in Golden, but they'll come to you when you make the choice. First, you go out there and pick the specific granite or cabinets or both, one or both. You don't have to do both. He never marks up the granite. You buy it at wholesale prices, and you can buy it anywhere you want, and you can use his wholesale account. He charges for fabrication and installation. Whatever you do in the kitchen, he does in the bathroom free. And the best part, he tears out and hauls away everything, all that old stuff, free. Mitch loves what he does, and it's reflected in his work. When you call him, he'll give you a preliminary price based on just a photo or some measurements, and then once you pick what you want, he'll go out to your house and template and install if you agree to the final price, and it'll be close to that estimate. He's very good at what he does. He gets everything done in 1 to 4 weeks, serving the entire metro community plus the mountain community. 7 days a week, he's open. Give him a call, 303-386-5919, 386-5919, online, artofgranite.net.
Don't miss the Trading Group Show, Sundays at 3 p.m. on 630 KHOW. If you want to learn how to make money in the stock market, the Trading Group Show.
Go to 192.168.1.195.
Most things they have to be. When they first started saying it, this is exactly what it meant.
No, it is. Oh, no, it's 170. It's 170. I changed it. Originally it was 195. Now it hit 170.
You know what? I have freaking cataract surgery that Tuesday.
Troubleshooter of capital.
Will I be ready to fly by that following weekend? How was I on my cataract surgery? Do you remember?
You were not seeing good for a while. I don't know how you felt, but it took you about... You weren't loving it. You
They'll make more of a show, I'll tell you that. People in Cheyenne are getting more than they plan for. And yet they'll never see you coming.
I got one eye open. And is this going to go to a turn?
Yeah. Turn left. Jack Sparrow, this guy.
See, you get it in a helicopter left. It really means nothing. What is this shit?
That'd be awesome. Stevie Wonder pilot.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome, 303-713-TALK. Rod's got a comment on that diesel filter. The guy was going to either buy a new one for a lot of money or have it baked clean in an oven for like $800. What's going on?
Hey, I've been in the transportation industry about 30 years, road truck and such. It's a common practice in tractor-trailers, semi-tractors, to bake the filter, and it does work. This isn't an uncommon problem that happens with semis. I'm not an expert. I mean, I just know from driving and, being in trucks and stuff like that, it does, the baking does work.
Okay, thank you very much. Save that guy a lot of money. 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Jeff. Jeff, what's going on with you, Jeff?
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Good, man.
Taking my call,
what's happening?
Hey, I just got a question on a Ford Mustang that I got. I'm not sure if two things are relevant to each other or not. Thought somebody could give me some advice on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, about a month ago when it was raining, I started hearing my belt squeal a little bit. Not real loud, only when it was in park. That has since stopped, but now, such as this morning on my way to work early in the morning, it was chilly, so I turned the heat on in my car, and it was cold, even though my temperature gauge was right in the middle where it normally is and should be. I shut the car off, thinking maybe the computer would reset or something, hoping. Restarted it, it did get warm, and then it switches from cold to warm, so I was curious if the belt and the heat might be connected, or if it's maybe the old-fashioned thermostat issue, or somebody had any idea.
Guys, what do you think?
I don't see any issue between the belt and the climate control changing, no. No,
Okay,
that's
so-
totally separate.
So you think thermostat maybe then?
Well, not if your gauge is showing warm. If the gauge is showing warm, thermostat's working. So there's something in the climate control unit, a blend door actuator, something inside the car.
Okay,
So what does he do?
Well, it needs to be verified and checked. I mean, that's, you know, it's a couple things, but I'm pretty sure it would be inside his dashboard. Something with the climate control unit itself or one of the doors.
Okay.
Because it sounds like the car's warming up normally. You said the gauge is up, so...
Yeah, it is. It doesn't do like the new computerized cars. I'm not sure anymore, but it used to be when the thermostat went bad, it would go way hot and blow cold and whatever.
Or they get stuck open too. They can go either way. But if you're showing normal on the gauge and no heat, it's something in the climate control.
Okay, awesome. It's got to go for an airbag check anyway on Tuesday, so I'll get it looked at.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kevin. We're getting through these calls pretty quick. That's what I want to do. Joanne, what's going on?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Joanne?
Oh, hi. I just wanted to give a positive review for A1 Budget Nationwide Transmission out in Englewood. I didn't actually get my vehicle fixed there, but the whole thing about they'll look at your vehicle, give you a estimate on how much it is to get fixed.
Right.
They did a great job with that. I mean, I had an old 2000 Tahoe that I wanted to have a transmission looked at. Told me they weren't going to be able to fix it for what we wanted to do it for. They let us sit there for a couple days and get it towed out of there. And I even tried to give them some money for doing, taking a look at it, and they wouldn't even take it. They were absolutely fabulous to work with. And if I ever get the chance or opportunity, I would do it again. I mean, they were great people.
And that's Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. Thank you very much for letting us know about that. Adam, what's going on, Adam? Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. We're doing speed rounds here, folks. What's happening, Adam?
Hey, Tom, I got a question. I got an 05 Tahoe. I hooked up my trailer, and the self-leveling shocks aren't airing up like they're supposed to. How do I troubleshoot that?
Is that factory, those self-leveling air shocks?
A lot of them were, yeah. Have you looked at it? There's arms that run off the back differential, and they're plastic. They're very, very common for breaking or coming disconnected. If you double-check to make sure they're still hooked up.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, that'd be the first place I go. It's very, very common to see those things snap off.
All right, and I wanted to comment on this Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah.
What a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
There's a picture with the guy.
Right.
Why can't the judge look at that? This is ridiculous, the amount of money they're going to spend.
Well, because his rights would be violated. If a judge simply looked at a picture without hearing the whole story, I mean, they have to do that, don't they? I mean, they really have to have a trial. What's a shame is that he had to throw it into court if he knew he grabbed her ass. So where do you fall on this? Do you think that picture shows him grabbing her?
Absolutely.
Sure it does.
People would see it.
Sure it does. You're right, Adam. I mean, for him to say, though, what really discredits him is when he says my hand was at rib level. Now, had he said, yeah, my hand was over on her hip, but I wasn't under her dress. But it's clearly his hand, by the angle of his arm, is clearly on her ass. And I got to tell you, even if it wasn't up her dress, it's still wrong. It is still wrong to have that. That would have still been, in my opinion, a firing offense. So I don't even know why, that bare skin has anything to do with it. Look where his hand was. And you can clearly see her leaning away. Wow. 303-713-8255. What's going on with Troy? Troy, what's happening?
Hi. I am calling you from Houston, long-time listener.
Well, thank you very much. What's happening?
I just need some help. I wanted, or an opinion as to how to get out of this financial situation.
What's going on?
Well, since moving 3 years ago and renting out my former residence, I've piled up a bunch of debt.
Okay.
So,
how much debt? How much debt?
$90K.
God, how did you pile up $90K in debt?
I guess I
mean, that's a lot of money.
Yep. The property taxes have killed me. I've had to buy 3 cars in 3 years, and then my calcs when I moved out of my former residence and the homestead fell off, my taxes killed me, so I was losing money for 1 year.
What do you own right now?
The amount of the house?
Well, what do you own? Do you own a house?
Yes.
How much equity?
I don't have much equity in there, maybe 50, but I've got at least 100 in my rental property.
Why don't you sell that stuff and start paying your bills off?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning towards doing.
That's the best thing to do. I mean, even if you do a bankruptcy, they're going to take it anyway. But if you can do it with, they won't take your home because you don't have enough equity. They will take your rental. And here's the deal: even if you have enough equity to pay off your bills, they're going to take it anyway. You may as well do it and not file the bankruptcy, but because they're going to take it anyway. Do you have enough to pay off your bills if you sold your rental?
Yes.
Then you need to do it, man. I mean, that's the way to do it. Then what you do is you escape a bankruptcy. How old are you?
47.
And you're at the prime right here that a bankruptcy is going to cripple you for 3 to 5 years. I mean, as far as major credit. Do you have sufficient income if you sold your rental?
I believe that I do, yes. I've been wanting to spend a little more time analyzing that to ensure that I do, but we've also been looking at downsizing just to be
Now, a bankruptcy would wipe out your debt as well, but it seems to me that why would you do a bankruptcy to wipe out your debt and lose your rental if you can just sell your rental and wipe out your debt without a bankruptcy? It just seems more logical not to do the bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's what my thinking was too. I just didn't know if there was any advantages.
The only advantage to a bankruptcy would be if you don't have enough to cover your debt. Then you have no choice. But if you have equity that would cover your debt, they're only going to take it anyway. I have to take this break. If you have anything specifically you want to stick around, just hang on. Suzanne, check with him if he wants to hang on. But I think we've answered the major deal. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This is time where we talk about the Raleigh House, and it's an unusual sponsor for a radio show. But you know what? Right now, addiction is so ubiquitous. It's so common, everyone knows an addict. Let's just face it. So it's not so unusual in that regard, because most likely someone I'm talking to right now knows an addict. Maybe someone near and dear to them. If it is, you can call this number established by the Raleigh House, and they will talk to you about talking to your addict. They will talk about how to approach them, how to get them into treatment, how to explain treatment, and exactly what the Raleigh House does compared to what other people do. They are open when it comes to treatment. They want you to choose the right one, and they believe that the Raleigh House is the right one, but they want you to make that decision after talking to them, talking to the addict. If you are an addict and you want to call directly, that's great too. They do a medical program with blood work and nutrition and supplements, along with behavioral therapy. They also want to involve family and friends if you're willing. So give them a call and find out how to approach the addict in your life. TheRaleighHouse.com, you can look them up, find out more information. They have multiple locations in the Denver area. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559.
This report is brought to you by Firestone Complete Auto Care.
South of the metro area, there is a wreck on the northbound side of I-25.
Just after Toma, watch out the back up there, so if you're expecting company from the south, we're looking a little bit of time back in town. Few off-highway crash.
When you do it, save it.
Colorado, Bruce Randolph in the cleanup station. Seems like it turned in 26.
Pretty cool.
Look out for crash being in University and Orchard. The weather forecast.
Well, you can see your cue. But you can't see your cue. This is really good, Mark.
This is August.
I just got to put a memory card in it, then when we're not there, it records to it.
So why does it do that? Why does it go back up like that? So you're just going to want to save it kind of...
Who?
Okay.
The road must go up. It's $70 by mail on a Bridgestone. 5 seconds. When you buy a Firestone tires, whatever you drive a Firestone.
This is the time of year a lot of people drink and drive because of cookouts, picnics, long days. They go out after work, whatever it is. Don't drink and drive. It's that easy. You can avoid DUIs. It's so easy with Uber, with Lyft, with taxis. By the way, I used Uber, and I love the service. I don't know why anybody puts up with taxis. That's just a side note. And when it comes to drinking, don't assume you can figure out what you can drink to get away with things, and especially when it comes to smoking marijuana. It's up to the judgment of an officer if you're intoxicated or not intoxicated, but under the influence, and that's just as bad, driving while under the influence. So if you're ever in trouble and you need help, accused of a crime, Joseph A. Lazzara will get you through the system, whether you're guilty, innocent, whether you're falsely accused or just stupid. 303-429-6200, 303-429-6200. Lazzara has 2 Z's and 1 R. LazzaraLegal.com. On my referral list at referralist.com.
We've all heard about the amazing benefits of juicing, and it's true. Juicing helps you stay...
So we might want to take that one. The mechanic up in Bennett has had the lady's car since August.
Why this is August?
So this will tell you why. Last August. He hasn't had it fixed because he says he's had cancer, needed surgery, all this stuff. $1,600 later, now he's saying he says it's done finally today. Says he wants $3,500 today, or he wants her to sign over the title. She doesn't know what
wait
to do.
a minute. Wow. Did he tell her it was going to be $3,500?
No.
16.
It was originally supposed to be $2,500. Given him $1,600.
Try to get him on.
Wasn't that other character the one that has helped the soldier's car also in Bennett?
Yes, but different guy. What was his name?
Jim Weasel.
Jim Weasel.
Yeah, Joe Weasel.
Yeah, they can't write this stuff. The Weasel. The Wheeze.
He made my week that time. You know what he's doing? He's probably saying he wants
my
storage.
favorite is the one that calls you 2 and 3 times a day when you get their car. When you get it done, it sits for 2 and 3 days before they buy it.
That's exactly how the Weasel run is.
And that's his girlfriend in that picture. That's his girlfriend.
Yeah, you can predict it. Yeah.
So he's doing that. Seriously, he looks like a porn star, the guy grabbing Taylor Swift.
I told you that grin it's all about it. He was going to go back and tell everybody, I grabbed her right by the, just like old, just like Don said.
It is him?
She kept saying WEIFF. It's got to be Weiss.
No.
Holy cow, that'd be great.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's talk to Janelle. Janelle, what's going on? Wait, it's line 2? I'm sorry. 3. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. I'm sorry, not Janelle, Sarah, right? Who do I want? Janelle, okay. I want Janelle, but I picked the wrong line. Sorry about that. Janelle, there you are. What's going on?
So I took my car to a mechanic a year ago.
What's the name of the shop?
Next week.
What's the name of the shop?
The mechanic, his name's Jim Weiss or Jim Weiss.
Jim Weiss, 44th Auto?
The Weasel's back!
Wait a minute, Janelle, is this 44th? It's called 44th what is it called? 44th
Auto.
She didn't know the shop name. She only knows his name.
It's Jim Weiss, right?
Yeah.
Is it a shop though?
Yeah, he had a shop.
Okay, I can't believe she doesn't know the name of it.
Okay, so you took it last August to Jim Weiss?
Last August, and he quoted us around $2,500.
Do you have that? Hold on. Do you have that in writing?
He didn't give it to us in writing, unfortunately.
And then what?
We took it. We actually had to go and pay the machinist. It was a Volkswagen, and the timing chain broke, and the pistons were bent.
Right.
So we took it to the machinist. We had to pay the machinist, and then we've had to pay for all the parts going forward.
So how much have you paid? How much have you paid the machinist and everything so far?
Okay, so we paid the machinist $600. I'd have to check the.
Just roughly, what have you paid to date?
About $1,600.
Okay, and he said it was going to be $2,500, although you have nothing to prove that.
Right, he said it would be around $2,500, and so every time I've called him, he got cancer. So every time I've called him, it's been, oh, I have to have another surgery. Oh, something else is going on.
Are you sure Are you sure he has cancer?
No, I'm not sure he's got cancer. That's what he's been telling us. And so every time, you know, we've had the money to pay him, the balance, and he didn't have it. He didn't have it. So now our business isn't going that well, so he called and said, okay, the car's done, I want you to pay it. So we arranged to pay him $500 a week. And he was fine with that. And then he called texted my husband today, and we have the text. He texted my husband today and said he wants it paid in full today, or he's going to start charging us $35 a day.
But just wait a minute. Does he want paid in full what you owe him or more?
Well, supposedly it's up to $3,500 now instead of $25.
Okay, if he wanted the balance in cash.
He wants the balance in cash.
But if it's, just wait, okay? The $2,500, I mean, if he said $2,500 and he wants the balance in cash, there's nothing wrong with that. If he is adding another $1,000 to it, then he's got to justify why. I mean, he was supposed to get your permission. Did he add to it or not?
He added to it and never called us and talked to us about it.
So
now he wants us to sign over the title today.
This is the same thing he did to that
This is exactly the same thing. He's on our Sleaze Brigade. Apparently, you never checked sleazebrigade.com. Go to sleazebrigade.com. This guy,
Tell us if that's him.
Jim Weiss is the worst you could ever deal with. He was trying to take advantage of a soldier. And you have
deployed.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. He's a scumbag extraordinaire. And you know what? I'm telling you, he's a scumbag. And I mean, I don't think he has cancer. He might. Who knows? I mean, who knows? I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone, but if I had to, it would be people like him. Jim Weiss, Sleazy Auto Service in Bennett. And it says Jim Weiss is one of the most vile sleazeballs we've ever dealt with. This is our opinion based on how he dealt with a situation involving an active duty U.S. soldier. I'm reading this from the Sleaze Brigade. Sleazy Weezy promised to fix the sailor's car for $4,000, collected $3,000 up front. That was in July. It took 9 months. He finally calls the guy and says he owes him more money, or he threatened to take the car
and start charging storage.
Does that sound familiar to you?
It's exactly.
Why do people go to this guy? Because he is a cancer on the automobile business. He's a cancer on the auto repair business, and he's a scumbag.
Let's reach out to him.
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
I don't need to talk to him, do I?
I wonder, 44th Auto Service, I wonder if his number is still 303-644-3027, is it?
I think so. I'd have to look on my phone. Just a second.
Okay. We'll get her last name and call. This sucks, man. This guy sucks. You know, this is
yes, that's the same number I have.
303-644-3027. What kind of cancer did he say he has?
I don't remember.
Cancer of the ethic gland?
Well, I'd say so.
Yeah, cancer of the ethics gland. He had an ethic lobotomy. So let's call this guy. Let's call him. Again. I'm telling you, he has a similar complaint on rip-off reports. We're not the only one.
It's his MO. This guy is a bad dude, man. In my opinion, this guy is just outright scum.
He is a scumbag, people. Don't let him get away with it. Let him know what you think of him. He's way out in Bennett. He thinks he can get away with it. He thinks there's no, and why did you fall for this, Janelle? Why the hell did you call this guy?
This last one was 9 months, too. 9 months he had this other guy's car.
As soon as we heard about this, we knew it was going to be him, didn't we? As soon as Suzanne said, we have somebody in Bennett screwing somebody on a car deal, and she said, he's had it for a year, he's threatening to keep the car, we knew it was him. We knew it.
The line is busy when I call.
And he's at 303-644-3027.
Look at sleazebrigade.com and search for him, find him. Sleazy Weezy, Jim Weiss. It's 44th. It's called 44th Auto Service. 44th Auto Service.
His website's down, too.
Is it? Yeah.
It's probably why he doesn't have a shop name anymore. I bet you he doesn't go by 44th Auto, Tom, and that's why she didn't recognize that shop name, because she kept saying to me, he goes by his name.
We probably shut him down. You know that.
Well, I hope we did. I hope we did. But cancer, they say, comes from self-loathing. I've heard people say that. When it comes to the yin and the yang, self-loathing, self-destruction.
He's on Angie's list.
Is he really?
Yes.
Honest to God. He is on that tells you everything you need to know about Angie's list right there. This is the worst guy that can ever live when it comes to automobiles. What a scumbag. 303-644-3027. Mark, last time we got really involved, maybe we helped this woman too.
Well, I got to tell you, the callers helped us big time.
The callers did
big time.
They let him know he wasn't going to get away with it. What happened, Suzanne?
Talk to Tom on one. He's tried to give Jim some listener love.
Tom, what happened, brother? Tell me about it.
You know, I've been listening to you guys forever, Tom.
Yeah.
And I actually live out here.
Yeah.
And I have no idea where this guy's shop is. I've been out here for 13 years, and unless he's hidden inside of a warehouse. But aside from that, I've tried to call that number.
Yeah.
You know, just give him some love like we like to do on this side of the fence.
Yes.
That phone it rings, but it just doesn't even go to a voicemail. It's just almost like it rings and then
he's done. Dead. He's done. This guy's done.
He's at it says he's at 50365 East 88th Avenue, Bennett.
Where is 88th Avenue out there? Do you have one?
It would be north of the actual town proper.
North of the town proper.
So if you look on a Google map, you'll see Bennett, and it would be north.
I see the fires of Gehenna out there. Is that where he is? Right in that pit. That's where he is. In the fires of Gehenna, in that pit, burning. And right next to him, look at that. Good old S-man right next to him. Okay, there he is. He's getting a place ready for him. With his cancer, eating him alive. He's getting a place ready for him. You scumbag, you piece of crap. You don't get it. You don't get to rip people off just because you're a dying fool. You don't get to do it. I can't stand people that just rip people off and live like this. It is a disgusting thing.
Man, if we could have someone in that area drive by, see if this lady's car's there. I've got a few ideas of getting
I got a few ideas, too. So let's see if her car's there. What kind of car is it? I got to take this break. Find out what kind of... Oh, wait, she told us. It was a Volkswagen. A Volkswagen. So, I don't know what kind of Volkswagen, but find out specifically. Maybe we have somebody drive by. I got to take this break. I'm running out of time. I want to tell you about Plumline Services right now because we're in a weird season right now. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. Yes, we have plenty of heat to go, and we have plenty of cold coming our way. But Plumline Services is doing a combination check on heating and air, all like 50 points or 60 points, and minor adjustments and tune-ups to the tune of $59. Now, they'll give you a full written report on your heating and air right now so you can get things fixed for your heat before the cold comes, so you're not pressured. You can even shop around if you want. And if they give you a clean bill of health, the good news is when they give you a clean bill of health, then you can take that to the bank because they will give you a no breakdown guarantee. Call for details on that. But for $59 right now, get your entire HVAC system checked out top to bottom. That is heating and air. And then, if you need an AC system, you can get a furnace and an AC system and save tremendous amounts of money because you will get half off the new AC system. Give them a call right now and get this tremendous check for $59. And if you buy a system, it'll be credited to you. And, of course, a written guarantee, a no-breakdown guarantee. 303-586-1086. 303-586-1086. PlumlineServices.com.
This report did.
She said that he had texted her from that number, didn't she? He got a text that come in and
see if that's where the text came from.
She got a text.
If that's a cell phone, you don't have your listeners blow
that lady. Did Jim text from the number we have? The guy is such
going off. You could have Verizon calling you up. What the hell are you doing?
That's about a mile north of that.
It's one of the worst ones.
I did Fuller. When that woman called in, I gave his number and talked all about
Hey,
it.
look at his website. His website says...
Didn't the DA get involved in that with the
She called in and said, I love John Fuller. He did such a great job. And I said, yeah, he does all these kinds of things.
And I remember that, you know, because I think Mark was working on the guy's car.
Yeah, Mark ended up with it.
How's this guy getting business if you can't get one phone? He lives up in the sticks.
Well, remember, she brought the car there a year ago. How did she find him?
When we looked at it a year ago, though, he had a really nice looking shop, and he was tied up. Yeah.
Yeah, a good website.
Like race cars and all kinds of like
way back when.
stuff.
He's a big racer, and his daughter races.
And he was in radio.
ESPN, he was bragging about, and everything else. Yeah.
More like 24 seconds.
Oh, he was a bad dude, man.
But with slow internet from the phone company, you're stuck
piece of
watching
crap.
spinning wheels and progress
He was
bars
a bad
until someone
dude.
scoops your story. Comcast Business has speeds
Was
of
it EI or
per
IE?
second.
EE. Oh, EA. Z-Y. No, that's sleazy. W-E-E-S-E. I'm sorry. W-E-E-S-E. Damn it, wrong word again.
Then why settle for slow internet? Call 800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Built for speed, built for business.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
For a week.
So do we know about the number that he texted from?
Her husband is texting me the number. He's at work. I'm getting it.
Can you believe it? He actually blows her phone up today saying, you got to come get it today. He would come on the air a couple times. He was one. Oh yeah, he came on with me. Oh, I mean, literally.
Were you there and I wasn't? It was when you had
Yeah, he was. He came on twice, and he
Did you
quit
take
coming
the
on.
original call? And then we went to camera. Oh man, that was good.
Yeah, because you were gone.
That was good.
And then he put it, when Tom got back, he put his stuff on the website. About Tom and stuff.
About you.
Yeah.
I was privileged.
That's white privilege.
All right, face. Actually, he did on his own website.
Yes, I'm going, and now his website's no longer there. I don't
see it either.
I like that. I can say anything when they go after Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino.
We're talking about 44th Auto Service in Bennett, Jim Weiss, lying, stealing, cheating, scumbag extraordinaire, still doing what he does, which is taking cars, keeping them for almost a year, double charging or triple charging, and threatening to keep the car. He's done it before. He's doing it now to Janelle. We're trying to get a cell phone number so you guys can text him some love. Do we have... Well, here's his cell phone number. And I'm going to update the Sleaze Brigade. His cell phone number, he just texted from 303-999-1368. 303-999. Oh, this is great. 1368. Now we got him. 303-999-1368.
We should have tried him before we gave that out, but...
Wait, you don't believe it?
No. I'm saying we should have tried to get him on the air.
Well, let's
that
call
clown
him.
actually came on one time.
303-999-1368. Jim Weiss, he kept an active sailor's car and said he was going to take the car. He threatened the guy. He threatened him with lawsuits, threatened to take the car. We got the car back. He also did it to another guy on rip-off
Hey, that
reports.
might be his house. That's a Comcast landline, it looks like.
Oh, it's a landline?
That's good, though.
How can he text from there?
Oh, good point. I don't know.
And when I called it's not a shot. He doesn't identify himself. It's just a gentleman. It says he or his staff will get back to somebody.
Oh, you got voicemail?
I called that 999 number.
Is your husband sure? Is this the one that was texted?
I don't know. She called James, so I'm not sure.
Okay, well, your husband sent us that number. So we're going to work on this, Janelle. That's all we can do, and bring the power of public opinion. And we even had an attorney get involved in the last one. I don't know. I mean, this guy, he has to go down. He has to stop ripping people off. We also need to probably figure out a way. Is it now called Jim's Auto Repair?
That's from Deputy Daphne, and when I Googled the phone number, it comes up 44th Avenue Auto Service in Denver and Jim's Auto Repair in Denver. So,
Man, Denver. In Denver. Wait a minute.
Looks like 3547. What is that? Decatur?
Is he in Denver now?
D-E-C-A-T-U-R.
Is he in Denver now?
Decatur Street.
Wait, how do we know it's...
Well, Janelle says her vehicle's in Bennett. So curious.
Wait, does he have a place in... Does he have a place here? I mean, that would be easy to go...
He might have had to close one down and pop another one open.
We have to check this out.
We need to find out if that car's somewhere.
Yeah, we have to check this out. Is it possible, Janelle, do you know if he had a place in Denver?
He told me he used to have a shop in Denver, and then he just moved out to his house.
And Janelle's husband confirmed positively that's the number he texted him from.
Wait, did you drop it? You just said it moved out to his house. Where did you bring the car?
To Bennett.
I mean, where, though? A house or a business?
It's a house and a business. He's got a humongous shop outside his house.
Oh, that's different than the old 44th. We need that address. What is that address?
That, I can't tell you.
We need to get that address.
Yeah, we need to get it. Okay.
I can call you back and have James give it to you. He's the one that's been out there several times.
That'd be great.
Yeah, just this Jim Weeks.
Don't pay this guy right now. Just don't do it right now.
What's on 44th, right? What's on 3547 Decatur Street right now? Jim's Auto Service. I don't think that's... I don't know. We would have known if he was here in Denver, right? Did he go from 44th Avenue Auto Service? Did he do that, Mark? Then go out to... here's what I think. He was in Denver, went out to Bennett, and then came back to Denver, went back. I mean, did we close him down out there and he had to come back here?
I have no idea what this clown's doing. I mean, no idea. I don't know what this address is. What I'd like to know is the address where
we need to check this address. Listen, people, somebody check out 3547 Decatur Street. See if
it's a house.
See if it's... Oh, it's not? Okay. It says Jim's Auto Service. We'll check it out, and we'll continue this next week. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. What an exciting car day we've had. I want to thank Kevin Calkin from Sheridan Auto Tech, 303-455-7242, and Jeff Bick, Kimmer Transmission, 303-693-1400.
If you want luxury granite or quartz countertops in your kitchen, you need to call Art of Granite. They sell you the stone at the wholesale price and only charge you the installation and the labor. They're custom fabricators who have a gold...
We have no idea what this guy's up to.
And when they remodeled,
we got to figure it out.
Is that North Denver, Decatur Street? Is that
she doesn't even know where she's staying.
Hers been broken off. 5919. That's 303.